The field. Every neighborhood has one. Grass, concrete, or dirt. The stage is the same. The rules, unwavering. And the goals, beautiful.
It goes in! Improbable scenes!
It's where the dream begins to achieve the ultimate victory.
The underdogs have prevailed once again!
One cup, open to all.
There is a celebration in Orlando.
Now, America's oldest soccer tournament is back.
Oh, it's incredible!
The field doesn't care if you're a pro or trying to be one. It only asks, how bad do you want it?
It's unbelievable!
The Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Tukwila, Washington, Starfire Sports Stadium for third round coverage of the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup as Major League Soccer's Seattle Sounders FC take on San Diego Loyal SC of the USL Championship. Sean St. Jacques and the former Guyana International men's captain, Chris Nurse, on hand for this one. And of course, third round coverage here, Chris, a chance to go on to the round of 32. Seattle, in their history, has big runs in this competition. San Diego trying to make some history here tonight.
Yeah, very exciting night in the history of the US Open Cup. Obviously, we always love an underdog, David versus Goliath. San Diego coming up against Seattle. A very good San Diego team. Is going to be a very interesting game tonight.
No question about that. Chris, let's take a look at players to watch. For the Sounders, Freddie Montero, who's having a good season in the league, hoping to carry that open into the U.S. Open Cup where he tends to shine. Yeah,
Freddie Montero, a veteran throughout the league, but definitely in this lineup tonight. He's going to be the gel, the glue that's going to have to bring everybody together. 9 changes, a very unfamiliar team, a lot of young players in the squad. It's going to be very important to see his influence on the squad tonight.
On the other side of things for Nate Miller, one of his players to watch is Tumi Moshaban, a player who has not quite gotten going in the league this year, but is always capable of big things.
Yeah, Moshaban, even though he's not hitting the statistics that he hit last season, he's still a very influential player on the pitch, and he's going to want to hit the ground running tonight and try to get himself on the score sheet.
He's a player that had 6 goals and 7 assists in the league last season. As we take a look at the starting lineups for both teams, you mentioned a lot of changes for Brian Schmetzer's Seattle Sounders. San Diego Loyal, 2 big absentees up front.
Yeah, as we spoke about with these teams, a number of changes coming into US Open Cup. Both teams looking for a positive result. It's going to be interesting to see which team can gel very early in the opening stages of this game.
No question about that. San Diego is a team that has had a good start to this US Open Cup run, a win in the round prior. And Seattle Sounders, 4-time winners of the US Open Cup, hoping to make some more history happen here tonight. Referee blows his whistle. The Sounders kick us off going from left to right here at Starfire Sports Stadium. And this third round US Open Cup tie is underway. First ever meeting competitively between these two against Seattle in their change strips, and the red and blacks with the yellow trim. San Diego in their usual light blues with the orange stripes. And of course, the Emerald City supporters have made their presence known here tonight in Tukwila, where normally Tacoma Defiance of MLS Next Pro play. Brian Schmetzer knows a thing or two about them as well. And we are excited to see these two play competitively for the first time. They played in friendlies in years past. Brian Schmetzer talked to us about the fact that that's allowed them to help prepare for this game. And San Diego, Nate Miller told us they want to make a statement here tonight. They're hoping that they can show off their style of play that has gotten them off to such a good start in the USL Championship and apply it to one of the marquee names in Major League Soccer.
Yeah, and Smith also talked about the atmosphere here at this stadium being a little bit more intimate, a little bit smaller. The 12th man, the fans having a positive impact on their team, and it's going to be interesting to see how vocal they get tonight. This is a San Diego team that is not your average USL Championship team. They're performing way above that level right now. It's going to be interesting to see tonight's game.
Brief chance there to wriggle a way through there for Freddie Montero. The ball was cleared. Abdoulaye Sissoko tries to keep it in play. And it is out of play for a San Diego Loyal throw. Christian Campo Hernandez leads our crew tonight in Tukwila. And his crew are ready to go. It should be a really good affair. Both teams with something to prove. As Nick Moon is on the attack here for San Diego. Both of these teams in second place in the respective Western Conferences. This is a big chance for San Diego early on. Huge save from Cleveland. Called into action inside of 2 minutes as Charlie Adams nearly scored a big opening goal.
It's a great opportunity there for Adams. He needed to be a little bit more composed in the box. A terrible giveaway gifted him that opportunity, and he was unable to capitalize on it. He's going to wish he had that one back later on in this game.
His eyes widened when the ball fell to him inside the penalty area, as it's a bit of a adventurous run there from Koke Vegas, goalkeeper for San Diego. But boy, Nate Miller would have bit your hand off for that chance early on. It's not been taken.
And we spoke about David versus Goliath. What a way would have been to start this game for San Diego. Great run into the box. Just needed to be a little bit more composed, open his hips out, bend it into the far corner, and his team would have been 1-0 ahead in the opening 3 minutes of the game. However, he's a little bit rushed, hit the ball straight down the center of the goalkeeper, and it was a fairly straightforward save in the end.
Charlie Adams has the captain's armband on tonight. His pass through the middle was picked off. Obed Vargas and company had it for a moment. This is Colin Martin for San Diego. Already seen a couple of adventurous plays from Koke Vegas. Brian Smetzer talked about how San Diego likes to use Koke and build out from the back, and you can already see the Sounders have put some good pressure on to keep San Diego honest at the back.
Yeah, we spoke briefly. This is not your average USL Championship team. The players in this roster, many have MLS experience, so this isn't a game where they're necessarily going to be overwhelmed by nerves or the atmosphere, because they've been in this environment, they've been in these type of games before. So it's going to be very interesting, and given the success and their style of play that they're having so far in the USL Championship, I think this is one of the fixtures that could lead to one of the biggest upsets in this phase of US Open Cup.
Seattle Sounders currently second in the Western Conference of Major League Soccer. They're on 19 points, 6 victories in the league so far this season. Nate Miller's crew, 4 wins, second place in the West so far in the USL Championship. They're on 14 points. They're unbeaten, unblemished at home this season, San Diego. However, in the league, they are winless on the road.
And I think it's important to note that San Diego have not changed their backline significantly from their previous games, whereas tonight for Seattle, there's a whole new backline and goalkeeper playing, and one of the things that you want to have stability in is your backline and your defense. So it's going to be interesting to see how they're able to capitalize on that. But as you said, San Diego are missing their 2 top goal scorers, so it's going to be interesting to see if we see them later on in this game, because obviously they're a huge impact offensively for this team.
And just to clarify again, Evan Conway, Ronaldo Damas, the 2 leading goal scorers for San Diego, not in the 11, they're in the squad. Could see them come on late in the match. But I will say, Chris, our heads turned when we saw that they weren't in the starting lineup. Yeah,
and it's probably San Diego giving a little bit of respect to Seattle.
Ooh, chance here for Whiting. Vegas holds.
If they're able to stay 0-0 for the first 15 minutes of the game, the players are going to get a little bit more confidence, especially if they're able to get touches and keep possession of the ball. But as the game goes on, being able to have those 2 weapons to bring off the bench is going to give the team a huge lift. So it's going to be interesting to see how those substitutions are used as the game progresses.
5 goals between them in USL Championship play this season. Conway has 3, Damas has 2, and we'll see if they are involved in the latter stages of this 3rd round cup tie. Referee spots an infraction here. I think Seattle is going to get a free kick out of this, just on their side of midfield.
Neither team has been essentially dominating the possession or play in these opening 5 minutes. Obviously, San Diego had a fantastic chance there with Adams, but neither team has really created anything so far outside of that.
Abdoulaye Sissoko played his season with Tacoma Defiance and MLS Next Pro a season ago. This is Colin Martin for San Diego after the pass was picked off. They get a reset at the back. Of course, Seattle, for those that don't know, many do, of course, 4-time winners of the US Open Cup. Last time they won it was back in 2014. Before that, they actually won it 3 straight years in a row, 2009 through 2011. They were 3-time champions, a 3-peat back then. 4-time winners, that's the joint most of all time amongst MLS clubs and current clubs in general. The 2 that are ahead of them are clubs that no longer exist.
And sometimes you wonder when you see a team make so many changes from the previous game, 9 changes for Seattle tonight. You wonder, it does lead to the question, are you taking the competition seriously? Do you want to win it? How successful do you want to be? Do you want to win the trophy? The response we're given is this is the best roster that we could put out given the injuries and suspensions that they currently have.
Baker Whiting dealing with Nick Moon, trying to keep that in. He couldn't, And it is out of play.
So you do wonder, with so many changes being made for this game, that this could potentially impact their MLS season with the number of injuries and suspensions that Seattle are currently facing. But the response was strong. They want to win this tournament. It's a tournament they take very seriously, and they're going out tonight with the best squad that they can to get the result.
Yeah, probably the most notable, of course, is Raul Ruidiaz, who's now out for 4 weeks with a hamstring injury. Such a huge part to what Seattle does in all of their competitions. Christian Roldan, of course, on that list as well of unavailable players, and she sent Danny Leyva on loan to Colorado Rapids, another player that could have been used if he was still in the squad. Sounders are on the attack here on the far side. Looks like the ball ran out of play, and it's a loyal throw.
And we spoke briefly about Montero's influence and how he's going to have an impact tonight. And with so many changes and his experience, he's going to have to be the leader out there to bring the chemistry and cohesion to this unit, because so many changes. It takes time for players to get comfortable with each other, learn each other's habits, read each other's movements in and out of possession. So, as expected, it's been a little bit choppy for the opening 10 minutes for Seattle, but Montero, the experience he has, is hopefully being the calming figure out there, keeping the players organized and disciplined and trying to make things happen.
Perez, after a good run from Mo Shaban and then a connecting in ball to Elliot Collier. Perez tried to get on the end of it. It is a foul, and it's a San Diego free kick. Defending to do for the Sounders.
Dangerous area here for this San Diego free kick. And we were speaking briefly, San Diego are extremely creative and have a number of options from set pieces. Corners is something that they have an extreme focus on, and it's going to be interesting. There's always something different every time we see a San Diego set piece.
Yeah, the word on the set pieces on the training ground for San Diego is that it's a pretty lengthy catalog of options and set plays. Charlie Adams is the lefty option here, along with Joe Corona, one of the players for San Diego with plenty of MLS experience and pro experience in general. It's Adams, and it's Cleveland.
Yeah, he opted to go directly for goal, but you can see the size of Collier. If that ball is delivered in the box for him to header, there's not many players that are going to be able to out-jump him. So you see the danger and threat that he has from set pieces and balls that are delivered aerially.
Charlie Adams, now Mo Shaban is taken down. Referee allows play to continue. San Diego keep possession. It is tipped around in the midfield. Soda Kitahara getting a touch onto it. All the way back it goes to Vegas. And San Diego had a golden opportunity inside of 2 minutes. Charlie Adams was one-on-one with Steph Cleveland. Cleveland came up with a huge point-blank save. And since then, it's been a feeling-out process between these two combatants. Collier trying to hold up the play towards the top end, and it's out for a throw into the visitors.
And there you got a little bit of glimpse of Koke's ability to play almost like a defensive midfielder, just taking a touch and lofting a ball just over the press from Seattle there. Great composure from the feet of the goalkeeper.
Elijah Martin is pressured. Nick Moon has to deal with Reed Baker-Whiting. Those two have gotten together a few times. It's a foul and a free kick. Dylan Tevez left in a boot, allowing San Diego to reset.
One thing that's been noticeable in this opening 10 minutes is the composure in defense from the back three for San Diego. Adams centrally left-footed, playing penetrating passes forward to the midfielders, even when he's under pressure. Very comfortable in possession.
You mentioned earlier, Chris, the motivation for Seattle and putting together the team that they have for tonight. Nate Miller didn't mince any words with us. He said, we want to play our style and apply it to an MLS team, and we feel like we like our chances going and playing Seattle. We've had some experience against them in preseason games before, and he sounded maybe as confident as I've ever heard an underdog before a big game like this. Not to go too crazy, but he felt like his guys, the way they've been playing in the league, the way they vibe together, have a very good chance here tonight.
Yeah, and the one thing cup competitions always bring is you can throw the league form out the window when it comes to cup competition. It's going to be who's up for it on the night, who's ready to compete and battle. And normally the underdogs have a little bit of extra motivation just because people don't believe in them or they're competing at a lower level. They normally find an extra 10 or 20% that they're able to bring on that occasion. And that can sometimes stifle the team from a higher level who maybe approach it a little bit less lackadaisical, and sometimes that can cause them to get sucker punched, and then they're trying to climb a mountain to get out of it.
Seattle on the attack. A shot is sputtered wide by Tevez. Takes a deflection, and it is out for a corner.
Yeah, a little bit lucky there for Tevez to win that corner. Didn't quite connect with the ball as sweet as he would like to, but still kept the ball in the attacking third. They have an opportunity to put the ball into the box here from this set piece.
Freddie Montero, who we highlighted at the beginning of the match, will take it.
In swinging corner, Sissoko obviously being one of the key targets here.
To the near post, and it is headed out of trouble initially by Corona. Montero on a recycle, again to the near post. San Diego appealing for an offside flag. Referee does give the free kick.
Good defending there from San Diego. Seattle have some huge targets there to deliver ball into the box from, but they did well to be first through everything and eventually snuff out the danger.
Abdoulaye Sissoko scored quite a few goals with his head in MLS Next Pro last season. You can see why. He's got a great sense of where he needs to be, great instincts inside the penalty area. And it always helps to have the size as well. Here's Mo Shaban.
You have to give San Diego a lot of credit here. If you were just a neutral watching, you didn't know which level either of these teams play for, you would actually at this point maybe believe that San Diego were the MLS team in the way they're passing the ball around and their composure in possession.
Pass is a bit astray there.
Commentators jinx.
Double air. Let's see what happens from it. It's Kitahara to Baker Whiting. There's plenty of talent in his boots as well. It's played for double air on this byline. San Diego deal with it. Elijah Martin comes out with it. Looked for a free kick, didn't get it. Seattle picks it back up.
Yeah, I think Martin has a good case there with the referee. Baker Whiting does push his arm across his face there openly. Should have barely gone in San Diego's favor and been a free kick for San Diego.
Chested into the path of Vargas. Double air goes down. Referee. Oh, play continues. Whistle never went. And it's a goal. It's in. Referee never blew the whistle. Sounders were looking for a penalty that never came, but they're the ones that kept on going. Seattle are in front inside of 15 minutes. San Diego stopped playing. Freddie Montero didn't. Sounders are in front.
Absolutely criminal defending. Great little 1-2 there from Vargas. Delicate ball over the top. The defender Moonhead did ever so well with that tackle. I don't know why Adam stops playing here and then eventually get punished in the end. Schoolboy defending. You never stop playing until the referee's whistle blows. And unfortunately here, for all the plaudits that had given San Diego defense, they let themselves down here and find themselves 1-0.
That's why we highlighted Freddie Montero. Freddie on the spot for Seattle. San Diego froze. The Sounders make them pay.
And if you want to be super critical here, the foul that we were talking about between Martin and Baker Whiting that wasn't called in favor of San Diego ended up being the play that led to them conceding the opportunity, albeit you never stop playing in the way that they did until you hear the referee's whistle, but punished. One opportunity, one goal for Seattle.
It almost seemed like San Diego were going to concede the penalty. They thought a penalty was coming. Referee played advantage. Boy, did Seattle ever take advantage.
And I think the keeper, Koke, did ever so well to save the first one, but his team stopped playing, and eventually Montero is not going to miss from that distance there. He punished them.
Another chance here for the Sounders, but it trickles out of play, and it's a goal kick.
And you can already feel in the atmosphere the way the goal has changed the momentum now. Now, Seattle getting that goal has flipped them. They're the ones playing with more confidence now, and San Diego a little bit shell-shocked because they were playing well, and just a lapse in concentration cost them a goal, and now they have a mountain to climb.
Doesn't matter, right? The opponents in a cup tie. Those are moments that can be separating moments. This one, like you said, Chris, just as simple as reminding you what you were taught at the under 7, under 8 level. Keep playing until the whistle goes.
Schoolboy error, we call that.
Right off the playground, not the training ground. Seattle wins it back. Tevez, hounded and dispossessed. Moshaban. Can San Diego recover themselves here? Lovely skill there under pressure. Adams. Elijah Martin.
Just going back, that's not the kind of goal that you want to concede against MLS opponents. You want to make them work for that opportunity, and they hadn't really created anything up until that point.
In from Charlie Adams. It's flaked around in the penalty area. Seattle just about clears it. Lovely ball in. Just needed a touch on goal.
But this throws a whole new curveball for the technical team for San Diego. They have their 2 most offensive players on the bench, and they're now chasing the game. So at what point do you now introduce them to the game to either get yourselves level or to get some more control and be more offensive? Because now they cannot afford to sit back. They've got to throw bodies forward. They have to be more offensive minded. It's going to be interesting to see how they adapt.
Out it goes for a goal kick as Collier tried to cross it into the middle. That's what we talked about at the beginning of the broadcast, and even a little bit before we came on the air, Chris, about the risk for San Diego not starting Conway and Damas, and that risk is starting to slightly backfire, at least for now, against Nate Miller's group.
I think it leaves us to be very intrigued for a very exciting second half, because San Diego had decent possession, but outside of the chance that was missed early on, they haven't really tested the goalkeeper anyways. They've had good position, but not really offensively threatening. And Seattle have 1 chance and they've converted. So this is the difference in the level between the two is in the final third. Those players who are able to finish off plays.
Here's Sissoko. And the goal was scored by Freddie Montero. Double Air was credited with the assist. That crazy sequence. Seattle trying to add. It's cut out. This is Colin Martin on the turn. Charlie Adams. Place one for Collier's head. It's flicked on to this far side. Opportunity maybe to cross this into the middle. Moshaban was in the area. Moon gives chase. Seattle clear their lines.
Wasn't a bad delivery into the box. Bounced right in the 6-yard box centrally. Unfortunately, there was no one there to attack it. But you see what Collier does for this offense. Such a big frame. He's not going to lose many aerial balls. And if players can get in and around him when he wins those headers, there's opportunities there to be taken.
Moon has scored in the USL Championship this season. Charlie Adams, sweeping ball across. It's chested down. And again, Seattle under pressure, able to get it out of their own penalty area. Flag has gone up here on this near side for offside.
There's been some good build-up play from San Diego and crosses coming in wide from wide areas. However, Collier hasn't found himself in the box when those crosses have been delivered. He's been involved in the build-up play, but when the ball's delivered into the box, with his aerial ability, he has to be in there attacking those deliveries. And there's been 2 or 3 deliveries into the box, and he hasn't been anywhere near them so far. So I think that's something Nate Miller is going to want to address, is trying to get him higher up the field in positions where he can be on the end of those deliveries.
Perez for San Diego. Elijah Martin to give a different angle potentially to this attack. Again, just to piggyback off your earlier point, Chris, at 20 minutes in, if there was no goal, you'd say San Diego been the better team so far, but that one lapse of judgment on the back line allowed Seattle to pounce and take the lead. There's been a slight shift in momentum, but San Diego has not stopped what they've been doing. They're trying to make up for it.
Yeah, and this is the key against top opponents. You'll get punished for mistakes, and that was a big error for San Diego at the back there. And Freddie Montero is not going to let you off of that. That's his bread and butter. Thank you very much. Good night. 1-0.
Baker Whiting gave it a look. Okay, Vegas resets to Elijah Martin.
And you can see in the build-up play how far Koke is off his line. You know, if Seattle are able to win possession of the ball, the goal is wide open. But they're just not, you can see they're very cautious in how they're pressing. But there's opportunities if they're able to win that ball high up to turn that into a goal-scoring opportunity immediately. But that gives credit to how confident and comfortable San Diego feel in possession of the ball, that their goalkeeper is able to take such aggressively offensive positions.
Brian Schmetzer did mention to us about the fact that San Diego, when they have the ball, likes to be aggressive. They play out of the back. It's the way they like to do it, the way they counter press as well. It's been something that Seattle has been planning for this week. San Diego are in search of an equalizer here. Perez in for Collier. Moshobon trying an acrobatic flick from his backside. And it ricochets out of play. It is going to be a goal kick. Not sure I've ever seen a goal scored from a stationary overhead kick. Moshobon tried it.
Unorthodox. You have to give him an A for effort.
Yeah.
Maybe an E for execution.
Cleveland's big save looks even bigger now. That second minute chance from Charlie Adams. And Seattle took their chance at the other end of a big mistake from San Diego's back line. Throw in for San Diego on the far side. Shabano had such a big year last year for San Diego, and he's shown some signs of it this year, just hasn't had the numbers yet to back it up for the USL Championship side. Again, second place in what's going to be a crazy Western Conference again. The USL Championship this year. Landon Donovan, of course, was the head coach last year, now part of the executive group at San Diego. And Nate Miller, who was his assistant during his time as head coach, has come in. He's done a tremendous job. And San Diego are going to be certainly one of the teams you look at out of the West in the USL Championship as a team that maybe could get to the final this year. That's why they have so much confidence coming into Tukwila tonight.
There was a great ball there from Adams to find Corona just now. Under pressure, deep in the left-back position, and plays a diagonal ball centrally and finds Corona in space.
In the end, the Perez shot is held by Cleveland from a tough angle. Cleveland is certainly someone who's been known for making jaw-dropping saves. So they made a big one tonight. Bit of a collision in the midfield there. Seattle player remains down. That's Obed Vargas. It's a long run from Kyle Adams. Ford is blasted out of play. Vargas is still down here for Seattle.
Yeah, fair play to Adams. Since his blooper earlier in the game, he stepped it up. He's trying to make amends. He's trying to be positive. He's making those extra runs, trying to put pressure on the offense. Just has to be careful that he's not caught out of position too much, because with the three at the back, he's the focal point defensively.
The crowd here shows its support for Vargas, who is still waiting either to get some medical attention or to get back to his feet. Here's a look at the sequence that led to it.
It was an honest challenge between the two players, Adams and Vargas. Vargas obviously coming off the worst of it. Looks more like the way he landed after the challenge, more so than the actual impact from the player, but he looks fine. I'm sure he's going to be good to continue.
And Seattle has such a storied history in this competition. We're not at that point yet, but I think it's getting to that point where it's worth mentioning. When Seattle in the Open Cup leads at the half, they've never lost, and they've never gone to extra time. They're 11-0-0 when leading at the half in Open Cup ties.
The legacy is one thing, but the team on the field is a completely different thing. And obviously we spoke about 9 changes from the weekend's roster.
Seattle on the attack, looking for a second. It slips through Vegas' hands, and Double Air scores. Vegas couldn't corral the cross. Ethan Double Air doubles Seattle's lead, and the Sounders are in very good shape in this third round cup tie. They lead by 2-0.
The defensive blooper reel for San Diego is getting a lot of love tonight. This is a straightforward catch that Koke really should have dealt with fairly easily. He should have been plucking cherries here, taking care of this one, but he lets it slip out his fingers, and another straightforward finish. Double Air was not going to miss this opportunity on the half volley, left foot on target, gives his team 2-0 lead.
Looked like when it was crossed in that Vegas was going to be able to hold on to it. It slips through his fingers, and again, all of San Diego's hard work ends up being undone by another mistake at the back. And again, we have to reiterate it, when you give a team like Seattle chances like that, Brian Schmetzer's group are going to take them, and they've taken their first 2 of the night.
And it's going to be interesting to see if San Diego adjusts now. For the first 25 minutes, unfortunately, they've got it wrong. They've had the one good chance that they had in the opening 5, and from there, they've not really created anything that's tested Cleveland in goal for Seattle. If they're going to get back into this game, they've got to bring on their offensive players now and start creating chances and be more productive in the offensive third, because the defense, yep, they've been very nice playing, but they've struggled defensively to be efficient in the basics. 1v1 defending, just clearing crosses, staying focused, goalkeeper catching crosses easy. It's not been on point tonight, so they're going to have to heavily rely on their offense to win them this game.
Montero and Double there, almost exactly 11 minutes apart, the 2 goals. Again, San Diego have done so well with possession, but then they've been caught out. They've made 2 massive errors, and Seattle has taken both of their chances here.
And you have to give Seattle credit for their efficiency in the final third. You give us a chance, we'll punish you, end of story. There's no second chances in that respect, but they've been given the chances. Not essentially chances that they've created through good possession and build-up play. It's chances off the back of San Diego's mistakes, and Seattle have just killed them for every mistake that they've made so far in the defensive third.
Another stat from Open Cup history for Seattle that it's boding well for them at the moment. When they scored 2+ goals in an Open Cup tie, 21 times they've done it. They've won 19 of them. 1 of them has gone to extra time, and they only have 1 defeat in their Open Cup history when they score twice or more. They've already hit that mark. And San Diego, just from that perspective alone, will have to do something pretty historic if they are to come back and make some history tonight.
Yeah, and it's definitely going to be on the head coaches to adjust now to see how they do this, because if it's going to be more of the same, I don't think that's going to be enough for San Diego to turn this around. So they have to maybe twinkle with the formation, with the personnel on the field, with how they go about attacking Seattle, because so far it's not been as effective as they would have liked. Away in Seattle, with Seattle having their home fans, 2-0 ahead, they have to score 3 goals to win this tie, at least 2 to take it to extra time. So that's a big mountain to climb right now. But cup sets are very normal, very frequent, and this San Diego team is not your average team, so this game is far from over. Still a lot of time to play. Just going to be interesting to see what and when the changes are made.
Well, all it takes sometimes is to get a foothold on the mountain. San Diego have a corner here as we approach the 30-minute mark. Adams on the overlap. Back and forth with Perez. Adams loses out. Colin Martin nearly wins it back, and Seattle do deal with it. Colin Martin has space to run into here. Moshaban, lovely little feed from Adams to him. Moon. Still time for San Diego to get back in this in the first half. Moshaban's cross was blocked.
Martins did well there, driving forward in possession of it with 3 players around him.
Ooh, Perez wins this back for San Diego. Lovely run, lovely skill. Not a bad effort. Good save from Cleveland.
Great freak there from Perez to get the ball out his feet and finally get the shot off, but the keeper made it look fairly easy.
Double Air, the goal scorer. Able to get it back. The 2 goal scorers link up. This is Montero. Slipped through by Baker Whiting. To that far side, he's kept in play.
Montero just showing glimpses of experience there, being able to keep possession under pressure in tight areas. getting his team out of a little difficult situation.
Vargas probing. Sissoko in support. Let's recycle all the way back through Arriaga and company.
Now you can see Seattle genuinely starting to get a foothold in the game, keeping possession of the ball, switching the point of attack, because they're no longer chasing, so they can afford to pass the ball around the back now and frustrate and suffocate their opponents, because they're very comfortable in the lead. But when the game was a little bit more open and both teams were still chasing, San Diego were actually the protagonists, having more possession of the ball, but coin has definitely flipped in favor of Seattle right now.
Tevez, was that handled by Perez? Trickles out of play. I think the referee's whistle did go here. It's going to be a free kick for the Sounders.
Yeah, I think that Perez, the only thing he doesn't have is the goalkeeper's gloves there. He may as well have caught that one.
He pleaded his case.
Guilty.
I concur, Your Honor. Chance for Seattle to possibly put this beyond a reasonable doubt, dare I say. Inside the first 33 minutes. Montero has one already. And he goes for a second! Oh. And Vegas probably had his heart skip a beat there for a second as he sees it flash by the post.
That wasn't far away at all, and you could tell by the goalkeeper's reaction. It looked high, but it dipped very quickly as it approached the goal. Great effort there from Montero.
Fans dive deeper into the thrills and drama of the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. Join the conversation on Twitter and Instagram at Open Cup, and on Facebook at Official Open Cup. Here's Moon. Nearly fell through for Collier. Sissoko did well to stay with that on the back end. Montero, as the Sounders could counter here. Nice flared over the top. That's a good head defensively, needed to be, from Camden Riley, who clears it further up the pitch with Chu on his case.
Interesting pass there from Montero. I thought it was on for him to drive it along the floor out wide, but opts to go over the top.
Chu into the middle. Montero was lurking. San Diego clear it. It is out for another Seattle corner.
Seattle definitely look dangerous on the counter-attack against the back three for San Diego. And the quality they have, they only need half a yard to create an opportunity, and you can see already they've been very lethal, and they're ruthless in the final third so far in this game.
Montero wouldn't go for a goal here, would he? They'll look for a teammate. It's headed centrally. Perez and Elijah Martin help it along. And Double Air, who scored the second, retrieves it.
Too easy, that corner kick. Montero delivers it to the back post. Baker gets a good connection back across goal, and just nobody reacted to tap into the back of the net, but way too easy for Seattle to win that header, number one. Nobody was challenging.
Luis Arriaga was able to head it down centrally. And luckily, from a San Diego point of view, Perez was able to get it out of trouble, helped by Elijah Martin. Now Reed Baker-Whiting is on the case here for Seattle. He takes aim, tried his luck, takes a deflection, and the Sounders keep pushing for more. It's another corner with 10 minutes left in the half.
Again here, Adams is defending, being called into question here. You see, driving forward with the ball here. Baker-Whiting gets the ball out his feet. I feel like Adams should have done a better job to close him down quicker. He's allowing him time and space and inviting him to take the shot. And it wasn't that far away.
Montero has a short option available now in Tevez. Montero's ball into the penalty area. It's headed centrally for Sissoko. Vegas palms it off the line. Retrieved by Vargas. Again, Seattle had two free headers in the penalty area and nearly scored again. Koke Vegas bails out San Diego. Reed Baker-Whiting taking on Colin Martin. Referee blows his whistle for offside, and the attack ends there for Seattle.
Vegas does ever so well to save this, but you see the delivery again from Montero. You can see Sissoko is centering the goal, and there's nobody marking him. He's one of the biggest players on the pitch. Again, schoolboy defending again from San Diego. Somebody has to be close to Sissoko, putting him under pressure and challenging for that header. Very lucky not to be 3-0 down now, San Diego.
Moshaban. This near side, Martin. We're saying, San Diego just needs a moment of their own to get back into this game, but it does start on the defensive end of the pitch. And the Loyal have been a bit leaky for these last few minutes. Here's Charlie Adams for Nick Moon. Can Nick Moon spark San Diego back to life? He runs out of room. And Abdoulaye Sissoko, accidentally, I think, from his point of view, pushes him into the ad boards there. Nick Moon disagrees with his intent.
Well, he ran into two objects there, right? First, he runs into the brick wall at Sissoko, and then he hits the boards at the side of the pitch. I think Nick Moon just wants a couple moments to himself to get his head back together.
Not a sandwich that anyone would like to be a part of.
Fortunately, I think the boards are actually a little bit softer than Sissoko.
You might be right. Moshaban. Charlie Adams. This is Perez. And Perez picks somebody out. He decides to recycle it. And a fair 50-50 balls on both occasions there. Seattle comes out with it with Chu. Montero. Double Air is running. Double Air is in behind. Double Air is crossing. Big chance. Two players had a chance at it. Chu and then Montero. They both missed it. Reed Baker Whiting for Montero. And Koke Vegas holds on to it.
Wow, that last chance was not offside. That was two good opportunities for Seattle to put themselves 3 goals in the lead. Big question marks over the defending for San Diego right now.
Referee did put his hands up for advantage. There might have been a flag there, and San Diego was allowed to continue on. But to your point, once again, Seattle had 2 big chances there. Initially on the cross, 2 players could have finished that off very easily.
Yeah, I think a huge question mark for San Diego has been their ability to defend wide deliveries into the box. There's been 3 or 4 headers now that Vegas has had to make saves on, and they've gone unchallenged. So if there was ever an Achilles heel that San Diego had that had been highlighted in this game, it's definitely been the ability to defend crosses from wide or set pieces from wide, because Seattle have had header after header after header that has been free and on target.
Moshaban's effort is off target. Cleveland will take a free, I should say a goal kick, beg your pardon.
It's a little bit of a desperation effort, right? 30 yards out, tries to volley, flick it up and volley, and it just dribbles out for a goal kick. But here's that header that Vegas made look straightforward. Definitely want the opportunity back.
After Chu and Montero nearly got on the end of the initial cross. Oh, Vegas lets it slip through his fingers, or rather between his legs, after he let the initial moment before that slip through his fingers. And more nervy defending from San Diego. Vegas allowed the second goal in between his hands, and this one goes between his legs. It's just so unlike San Diego, these mistakes we're seeing. And they have to defend a set piece because of it. Montero will take it. Into the penalty area it goes. Vegas makes the catch this time.
Again, another basic mistake there from San Diego at the back, giving away that corner kick opportunity. They've just been a little bit nervy and edgy tonight. It's not been the same strong unit that they displayed week after week in the USL Championship, and Seattle are not the team that are going to let you off lightly if you give them that type of opportunity. So if they can get to half-time 2-0 without conceding again, I think it's back to the drawing board and figuring out the game plan to attack the second half for San Diego. And I still think there's more to come from them. There's expectancies. They can be better in the second half.
And again, we talked about this earlier. Evan Conway, Ronaldo Damas are on the bench. 2 leading goal scorers for San Diego. Will we see them come on at halftime or maybe shortly thereafter?
Seattle have taken a very no-nonsense, effective approach to the game. They're here to get the result, they're here to get the job done, and so far they've been very efficient in how they've gone about their business tonight. San Diego, yeah, they've looked nice in possession at times, playing out from the back, but the fundamentals of being able to defend well effectively have definitely not been on display so far this evening.
Leo Chu keeps it in play for the Sounders. Good challenge by Riley. Seattle will keep it. San Diego advanced through the second round. They beat Albion San Diego by 2-0. Charlie Adams scored in that game, nearly scored earlier tonight. Inside of 2 minutes, big save from Steph Cleveland, and then Evan Conway scored the second goal in the last round for the Loyal. I'd be really surprised if we don't see him. And Ronaldo Damas has scored twice in the league this season as well for San Diego. Those are the two big chips in the back pocket of Nate Miller. Doubler, who was the beneficiary on the second goal, wins a throw for Baker Whiting to take. Kitahara, dispossessed by Corona. Charlie Adams playing it into space for Perez, who scored against Tampa Bay Rowdies last time San Diego played in the league in a 1-0 win. Moshaban picks his head up, flares it in for Perez. Perez keeps it in play, but Sissoko is there to facilitate a clearance. A bit of a collision there right in front of Brian Schmetzer in his technical area. Riley and Chu get together. It's gone Seattle's way.
We spoke briefly about Freddie Montero and the impact they would have in tonight's game, being a number of new players into the lineup, a number of young players. And he's been exactly that. In possession of the ball, he's been very good keeping it for his team, being responsible in possession. When he's had the chances in front of goal, obviously very clinical. And he's also been very instrumental in creating chances for his opponents. So he's doing a very good job of what's expected from him. Maybe 36 years old, is that correct? You know, still maybe looking like one of the youngest performers out there with the influence and impact that he's having on the game tonight. Again, commentators curse.
What's the saying? Form is temporary, class is permanent. And Freddie Montero fits that pretty nicely. Here's Kitahara. Great support as well from the Seattle Sounders fans that have
not mincing
made
their
the short
words.
track. Well, that's for sure.
Definitely not mincing their words, the fans.
Yeah, we apologize for that. But they have to like what they've seen. The Sounders have to like what they've heard from their supporters so far. There could be more on the way. Chu. A minute left to the 45. Chu with a dazzling run inside. And Tevez nearly scores a spectacular goal. Riley defensively does enough.
Chu being one of the players who did survive all the changes from the weekend. Jinking and Jaden his runs out there, beating his player 1v1, creating opportunities for his teammates. Not far away whatsoever. Tevez with that shot, rocking over the crossbar.
Moshaban gets past one challenge. Perez in support. Baker trying to deal with him. Perez gets to the byline, and it is a Loyal corner. We approach injury time.
Moshaban, these are the games where you want to see him take control and dictate the tempo of the game, or get hold of the ball and make something magical happen. These are the games where you want to see him stand out and answer those questions and be the big player. And I think we spoke about him maybe struggling to accomplish the numbers that he had last season, but this is a great opportunity out here for him to regain his form, get possession of the ball and make something happen for his team.
From the corner, Baker tries to head it away. It's still not clear. We're into 1 minute of added time at the end of the half. Just bouncing around there. Seattle not quite clearing it. Corona kept it alive. In the end, it is cleared, and Martin does get it all the way back to Vegas.
True, putting him under a lot of pressure there.
That was one of the parts of the game plan that Brian Schmetzer talked about. When San Diego has it at the back, they want to make sure that their presence is felt, the Sounders that is. And I will say the mistakes haven't been a product of that, but the regular routes of play definitely have been.
Yep, I mean, it looks very cute for San Diego playing out from the back and using the goalkeeper very high. But if you're unable to do the fundamentals when you're not in possession of the ball and give up chances in the way that they have done tonight, then it's not really very effective.
And that's how the half ends in Tukwila. Two big San Diego mistakes. 2 goals for the Sounders. They punished both of them. San Diego has shown some promise, but at the back, they've really struggled, and the Sounders have made them pay.
Yeah, they've struggled at the back, and in honesty, they've struggled offensively. Besides the one chance that we saw in the opening 2 minutes of the game, there's not really been that much created that's given Cleveland a problem in between the sticks for Seattle. So, you know, I'm interested to see how they adjust at the halfway mark and see them come out in this second half fighting.
When the Sounders get in this position in the Open Cup, they tend to win. They're up 2-0 at the break. Big second half coming up for San Diego Loyal. Halftime is next from Tukwila. Sounders, for now, are in control.
Exclusive member events, ticket pre-sales, and so much more. Learn more by heading to SandersFC.com/memberships. A single match suite is perfect for a birthday gift, treating your colleagues, alumni meetup, networking events, or hosting clients. A suite gives you the match day action in a private space and luxury feel. Get your suite tonight by heading to SandersFC.com/premium seating. Feeling thirsty? Beer and other beverages can be purchased at stands beneath the scoreboard and at the top of the grandstands. This service will continue until the 65th minute of the match. Please drink responsibly. Sanders fans, the Club of Defiance's second season in MLS Next Pro is underway, playing the home matches right here at Starfire Stadium. Tickets are just $15, with proceeds going towards the Great Foundation's 26 Fields by 2026 initiative. Visit ClubofDefiance.com to learn more. We hope to see you back at Starfire later this season.
You can just go back to the clock. James, you are not reading the ring. Yes. Okay. Stand by. We're ready. Go ahead, James.
Fans, it's now time for our crossbar challenge. At the east goal, we have Dashiell, Gio, and Alessandro. And they will each get 3 attempts to strike the crossbar from the top of the goal box. First up, we have Dashiell. Just slightly under the bar there for Dashiell. Now we have Gio. Thanks, Gio. Next up, we have Alessandro with his first pick. So close from Alessandro there. And now we move on to the second round, and each player gets a second kick. First up, Dashiell. Next up, we have Gio. Just there. Finally, we have Alessandro. Well, couldn't correct. Oh, we're going to have one final round. Dashiell, let's see if you can get it again. Next up, we have Gio. He got it too. Last kick for Alessandro. Congratulations to Dashiell and Gio. You have just won a Santa's FC prize pack. Well done. Give our contestants a round of applause, Santa's fans. Fans, once again, here's Soundwave.
Sorry, I didn't realize there were 3 rounds.
No, you're good. Should've.
stand alert.
Running across the pitch, whoever gets the end first wins. Keep the elevator and the race away.
I think we could do it on the G. Basically, just gotta have kids in like rectangular boxes. Yeah. And that's the thing, they gotta go on quiet lines. So
We gotta get the two fastest kids to learn the green.
Back here at Starfire Sports Stadium in Tukwila, Washington. Sean St. Jacques, Chris Nurse, back here with you at the half. Seattle leading San Diego by 2-0. Let's jump into the halftime highlights in this U.S. Open Cup third-round tie. Seattle was the team on the back foot, Chris, inside of 2 minutes, and this was San Diego's best chance of the match.
Early chance here, Arriaga with a bad giveaway. Martin latches onto the ball, but just unable to compose himself to take advantage of it.
Then Seattle started to create chances. This is a moment that many coaches will say is unforgivable. San Diego stopped playing. The whistle never came. Seattle scored.
Moon did a great job to win this tackle, which many could have said was a penalty. Criminal defending. Why did the defenders stop? Keeper does well to save the first one, but on the second one, Montero's going to make no mistake, and he makes them pay and buries that one into the back of the net.
Seattle pounced on it. They gained momentum. They created another chance, though Koke Vegas will want this back.
Montero again starting this attack. Vegas with a terrible attempt to stop this cross. Should have been cherry picking and held on to this one. Leaves it. Double A makes no mistake on the half volley of his left foot to bury this one into the back of the net. 2-0 Seattle.
That was inside of 26 minutes, and then the Sounders continued to gain momentum, although San Diego did create a couple of half chances.
Yeah, Perez doing a good job here to get this ball out of his feet and get the shot off on frame. But Cleveland did a very good job to save this and made it look fairly easy in the end.
A couple of big saves from Steph Cleveland in this first half. No question about that. Game could have been totally different. And take a look at the halftime match stats. Everything has been pretty tight, maybe possession, but again, it comes down to the two loyal mistakes, and when you give Seattle Sounders those kinds of chances, they are going to bury them.
Yeah, it makes no difference if San Diego can keep 60 possession. If they've defended in the way they defended in the first half, this game could potentially hit double figures for Seattle Sounders. They have to improve defensively. Now, they also need to improve offensively because they've not really created too many chances, and their two top goal scorers are on the bench, so it's going to be interesting how early they come into this second half.
We're waiting to see Evan Conway and Ronaldo Damas, 3 goals and 2 goals respectively at the break. And we will see how it goes. And we were just told that San Diego is going to make a host of changes. We will get those to you in just a second. Seattle, I believe, has also made a halftime substitution as well, leading by 2-0. The Seattle change was Paul Rothrock coming on. Leo Chu has come off for Seattle. And again, we're told that San Diego is making a host of changes here. We're actually just told 4 of them have been made. Here are the 4 San Diego changes. Apologies for a brief moment there to give us time to get through all of them. Evan Conway and Ronaldo Damas have both come on. So the 2 big offensive attacking players for San Diego are on. Chavi Nalati has come on as well in the midfield. Grant Stoneman in at the back. Perez, Collier, Moon, and Charlie Adams are all off for San Diego. So again, 4 changes. Just to confirm for you, Adams, Moon, Collier, and Perez are off. Conway and Damas, the 2 top goal scorers, Nalati and Stoneman are all on. Seattle made 1 change. Leo Chu is off. Paul Rothrock is on. That is a like-for-like in the midfield. And as we expected, Chris, San Diego did make the changes. They made them at the start of the second half. and the firepower they need to get back into this match is now on the pitch.
Yeah, I'd have to say buckle your seatbelts if you thought the first half was wild. The second half is about to get a whole lot wilder. San Diego, we knew, had to make a number of changes, and they've thrown their offensive weapons out in this second half. Now, does that make them vulnerable defensively? Probably yes, but they're going to go after it in the second half, so there's a lot to be excited about.
Again, 3 goals this season to lead San Diego in the league in the USL Championship for Evan Conway. Damas has 2. He's been dealing with an injury, missed the entire preseason for San Diego, but Nate Miller told us he's really getting back into his stride. He's starting to really make a lot of progress, and they expect big things from him in the league this season.
And as we mentioned, this is not Seattle's regular defense. This is not their regular back 4 or goalkeeper. And San Diego they haven't really tested them in the first half. So now throwing on their offensive weapons, now they're going to have to test this defense, and it's going to be interesting to see how they stand up against that.
Double scored the second of Seattle's 2 in the first half. Into the middle, Stoneman, the substitute, gets it out of trouble.
And you've already seen a change. Seattle were winning all those aerial battles earlier in the first half, and Stoneman's already come in and won the first ball delivered into the box of his head. And you can already see some defensive adjustments. Martin's gone to the left of the 3, and Stoneman's come centrally, Riley remaining on the right-hand side. So you can already see how they've adjusted tactically.
And for those unfamiliar with Ronaldo Damas's pedigree, won the USL Championship with Orange County a couple of seasons ago, was such a big player in that run, scored some huge goals along the way in the playoffs, including in the final at Tampa Bay to beat the Rowdies. So he is certainly a big game player for San Diego. Evan Conway's done the same in the past for the likes of Union Omaha, USL League One. He recently won the title a couple of seasons ago. So not only recent good form for those two, but they have a ton of big game pedigree themselves. And they certainly need to have a big 45 minutes if Nate Miller's crew are going to get back into this. Double picks off the pass for the Sounders on the far side, and his fellow goal-scoring companion, Freddie Montero, goes down. Play is started up quickly. Double in for Montero. Chance to cross it back into the middle. It does take a ricochet on its way through, and it's out for a corner.
And you can already see this second half has started wide open. A little bit of end-to-end for both teams. San Diego, of course, trying to push the tempo of the game and try to get an early goal. And Seattle still looking very dangerous on the counter-attack.
Next goal in this game is crucial. It always is at 2-0. Vargas whips the ball in towards Sissoko. Oshaban helped to clear it. Vargas tries to keep the attacking sequence alive. Double Ball is whipped in by Montero. Vegas with a lunging fist to get it away. Now Damas and Baker. Thomas pokes it past him, then goes down. Referee penalizes him. It's a Sounders free kick.
Interesting to see the referee give the decision in that direction. I thought Damas was just trying to get himself free to get onto the ball. And it was actually the defender obstructing his run. Great delivery here from Montero. Just whips that ball into the box with pace, teasing the defenders. Keeper does well to come out and punch that one away. Vegas there on that occasion.
It was Cody Baker on the cover on that initial challenge. I was with you initially. It looked like Baker was the one that maybe should have been penalized there, but it does go Seattle's way. Montero into the penalty area. Double tries to return it to him. It's cut out. Kitahara can recycle it. Sissoko was on it. Referee stops the play. I think this is a San Diego free kick. Christian Campo Hernandez has something else on his mind here.
Not sure what the referee was quite instructing the player there, but clearly wasn't happy with something.
San Diego get on with it. Vegas under some pressure from Rothrock, the substitute. Riley, an incisive pass forward. Elijah Martin gets on the end of it for the Loyal. Two defenders on him, swarming defense there from Vargas. Lovely ball from Tevez. Double has space to run into. It's touched out of his grasp, and then Stoneman recovers. And when Seattle gets into this position historically in the U.S. Open Cup, 21 times before they've scored at least 2 in a cup tie. They've only lost once. They've only gone to extra time once in their history. 19 wins.
I think the next goal is very important. If Seattle get the next goal, it's game over, game, set, and match. If San Diego get the next goal and the momentum shifts again, I think there's still a lot to play for in this second half.
Some good pressing from the Loyal here. Conway cutting through the defense, looking for Damas. It's Elijah Martin, and his volley is deflected out. It's a goal kick. It hit off of Damas. No,
he's given a
penalty.
penalty.
It is. It's a penalty. It's a handball. Arriaga gets a yellow card. Great spot there, Chris. It is a penalty. It looked like it just ricocheted out. Referee pointed not for a goal kick, for a spot kick for San Diego.
Looks like a handball infringement, but you already see the impact that Conway has. Gets the ball at his feet, drives into the box. You see a little change of speed. Hangs the ball up at the far post. You actually thought maybe he hits this first time on the volley, but his actual lack of composure ends up coming to be a benefit for him. Ball bounces, strikes it the second time, and it hits the defenders. Oh, shoulder, arm. It's a harsh one, but the referee's given it.
It does go San Diego's way. Well, they had a chance inside of 2 minutes to find the opening goal, San Diego. Joe Corona tries to get the Loyal back into this cup tie. San Diego goes to their captain here. Joe Corona scores just about. Gets it under the gloves of Cleveland. San Diego are back in it. It's 2-1. Cleveland won't give it up. And this game has just been taken up a few notches. San Diego needed a response. It's a captain's goal, and it's 2-1.
Yeah, Corona has to be a little bit careful here. His team have just got a goal to get themselves back into the game. Last thing he wants to do is get a silly card and get himself sent off. But it's game on. We spoke about the first half being, the first goal being very important in the second half, and San Diego have managed to get it. Cleveland almost saved that ball. He dives well to the right side, just unable to get enough on it to push it past the post. But now we're up for a very exciting second half.
Moments in cup ties that can change the tide. Corona has been booked for dissent. Just talked about it, Chris. Unnecessary to do that.
And now he puts himself in a predicament in the center of the park, where now with the game is changing the momentum, he's going to have to be aggressive. He has to close down. He has to intercept. He has to make himself a physical presence. Now he's on a yellow card. He has to be exceptionally careful in the timing of his tackles, or he'll be taking an early shower. So Corona now has to play a little bit smarter.
Now then, this game becomes very enticing. I wouldn't say the Loyal were dead and buried, but there was one foot in that grave at halftime. They're right back in the match.
Yep, and as I said, the Seattle defense, this is a new defense strung together for this game. It's not a defense that's had a lot of time to play together and have chemistry and cohesion. And the first time they've been put under pressure by Conway, they've cracked, and San Diego have managed to get themselves a goal and get themselves back into this contest.
Does Seattle have a response? Oh, big save, and then it's headed off the line by Stoneman after Vegas initially got a touch to the shot by Rothrock.
Another big let off there for San Diego defensively after just getting themselves a goal and getting themselves back into the game. They leave themselves wide open at the back post, and they should have been punished there again.
And all of a sudden, you can't take your eyes off this cup tie. Anything can happen now. Joe Corona breathes life back into San Diego's open cup run from the penalty spot. Baker down the line for Rothrock. It's a lovely ball. Rothrock gets past Martin, and it's gone in. Vegas lets it go through. Oh, it's a gift. Paul Rothrock, the substitute, reestablishes the Sounders' 2-goal advantage. More sloppy defending from San Diego. They've been their own worst enemies tonight. And it's 3-1 Seattle.
Great ball down the side from Baker. Great run from Rothrock. Absolutely sells Martin down the line. But again, this is poor goalkeeping from Vegas when he's called upon to do something fairly basic. The ball's there. Just doesn't position himself rightly, and it deflects off his fly into the back of his own net. I think that puts a halt to the momentum that San Diego had, and clearly puts Seattle in the driving seat now.
2 minutes after San Diego had gotten themselves back into the match. Seattle reestablished their 2-goal advantage, and a very rough night for Koke Vegas continues.
I think the post-match analysis is pretty clear. You cannot defend like that at the elite level, at the highest level of soccer, and expect to win games.
Damas, great ball from Elijah Martin. Seattle having trouble with it. Moshaban puts pressure on, and the Sounders a bit nervy at the back all of a sudden. But they do clear their lines in the end. We said it was open. It's become rather topsy-turvy in this second half. Advantage is played here. Ball in behind for Tevez. And Tevez flashes it wide of Vegas' goal after a lovely ball played in behind by Montero.
Yeah, good 1-2 play between Vegas and Montero here. When he gets this ball back, just needs to be a little composed once he gets in that. No need to take the shot out early from that angle. Doesn't trouble the goalkeeper whatsoever. Probably could have driven into the box a little bit further and cut the ball back for Montero for an easy tap in, but you see the cracks offensively when it's transition time, when they're counter-attacking. Seattle clearly getting the better of this San Diego defense, but it's expected. They're wide open. They have to change. They have to chase the game, which leaves them wide open on a transition.
San Diego have to do it all over again after getting a lifeline from the penalty spot. Another miscue from Koke Vegas. Sissoko, he's a bit overzealous there on Damas. It's a free kick for the visitors. Well, we said it was going to be an action-packed second half. Certainly this has not lacked drama. Now San Diego, after getting to the first base camp on the mountain, have gone back down to the bottom here.
This is a game defensively for San Diego, where, you know, when you're watching something and parents say cover your eyes. Defensively, this is what parents are doing to their kids when it comes to defending for San Diego tonight. It's not something you want to see and replicate. They failed to do the fundamentals on numerous occasions and have been punished almost on every single chance that Seattle have had.
Baker Whiting from double air. Ball is threaded through. Tevez. Oh, it could fall for Rothrock. Vegas gets to the ball. It's a clean challenge. Referee did have a look at it to see if Vegas did it cleanly there. He did. San Diego get out of trouble.
On the plus side, it does make for a very exciting game. It does make it's never going to be a boring defensive display when you're watching San Diego play. It's always going to be exciting.
Maybe just not for the faint of heart. Moshaban. Can they get back into it once more? San Diego. Elijah Martin's cross. Evan Conway is able to keep this in play. Tries to backheel it to Nalati, the substitute. Double air. He's able to get some help from Montero. It is a Seattle free kick. Well, in the league this season, Koke Vegas is tied for 4th with 2 clean sheets. San Diego tied for 3rd with 3 clean sheets in the league. They actually are tied for 2nd to last in goals conceded this season in the league with just 5. They've conceded 3 here tonight in Tukwila, and all of them have been off of their own misfortune and mistakes. Challenge there. San Diego pick it back up. Colin Martin for Elijah Martin. To Moshaban into the penalty area as we approach the hour mark. Can Moshaban be a spark plug in this second half for the visitors? And it's Colin Martin. He's forced back. San Diego will recycle it. Kyle Adams.
Seattle doing a good job in that situation of getting bodies back behind the ball. Moshaban was in a fairly dangerous situation there in that wide channel, managed to beat 2 or 3 players, but they managed to get enough bodies behind the ball to force San Diego to play backwards to the halfway line and really neutralize any threat that was occurring.
Another chance here for San Diego. It goes begging, and it goes over the top and out for a goal kick.
I think that was Conway again getting in behind on the left-hand side where he created that chance for San Diego to get their first goal. they need to find Conway more often. He's been the player that's come on in the second half that's been able to make them tick offensively. He's been able to make things happen with his individual ability. I think he's the player that San Diego right now need to try to find more often.
Montero back heels it for double air. Kyle Adams steps in. Nalati's challenge. Ball is sent forward for Moshaban. It's cut out by Arriaga. Seattle just under half an hour away from getting back to where they got to a season ago, to the round of 32. The Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. They entered at this round via a bye, of course.
Great pass there from Riley to find Damas. Breaking lines of his passes, but Damas just unable to get possession of the ball and make anything really happen, but did well to draw a free kick.
Corona, for a moment, looked to have gotten San Diego right back in the game. Only for 2 minutes later for Paul Rothrock to reestablish the Sounders' 2-goal lead. That's where we stand. 2 first-half goals for the Sounders. Here's Montero, followed by double air. As Obed Vargas is back down, we saw him have some trouble in the first half. He was able to run it off.
And this is where it'll be important for Seattle to use the experience that they have in the team with the likes of Vargas, Chu, Montero, to manage the game and kill the clock at certain moments and try to not allow San Diego to get any momentum or build up any steam by just taking extra little moments when the free kicks are called, take a little bit longer to get up off the floor, ball goes out wide, take a little bit longer to get it back into play. Just controlling the flow of the game and try and slow things down as much as possible and frustrate San Diego.
Good run from Elijah Martin. This is Corona. Corona curls one in. It's flicked up into the air and into the waiting arms of Cleveland. The 2023 Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup continues with more exciting twists and turns with the round of 32 on May 9th and 10th. Tonight's winner will learn their round of 32 opponent tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern live on the BR app or BR Football's YouTube channel.
Baker just struggling with his first touch on that occasion. Cleveland will be frustrated that he's lost the opportunity to keep a clean sheet tonight. He's had a fairly decent performance, but and almost got to the penalty kick, but was just unable to keep it out of the back of the net.
We've had a few cup sets in this round. Inter Miami surviving. Miami was not a cup set, but we did see Monterey Bay take down San Jose Earthquakes, and earlier today Memphis in extra time went on the road and beat Atlanta United. So the USL Championship has pulled off a cup set or two already in this third round.
Yeah, the game between Inter Miami and Miami FC looked like an exhilarating contest. 2 teams in a close proximity is always good. Inter Miami coming out victorious in the end.
It was on penalties as San Diego is allowed to continue here. Advantage is played. Evan Conway trying to maraud into the penalty area. He stood up by Reed Baker-White, and Corona wins it back, though, off of Sissoko. Corona's ball into the middle. Oh, it was nearly sliced back into his own net by Arriaga, and it's gone out for a corner.
Great delivery there from Corona. He just whips the ball into the danger area, and it actually looks like it's going into the back of the net when it comes off the defender's shin pad. Luckily enough, it just skims off and goes out for a corner kick, but great delivery into the box there from Corona. San Diego aren't done yet. They're still knocking on the door.
Still time for Nate Miller's group to get back in this. Big corner upcoming for Moshaban to take. It's right into that near post. It is headed away by Rothrock. Corona's volley is blocked. Nalati picks it up. And San Diego will settle for a throw in front of Nate Miller's technical area.
Great defensive header there from Baker. Just clearing the danger away from the 18-yard box.
25 minutes left with Seattle's fans sounding off.
I don't know how you feel, Sean, but I feel like there's still more goals to come in this game.
It feels like that, doesn't it?
The fans are still increasing the atmosphere. You can hear them in the back. They're not done yet. They want to see more from their team. And San Diego, for sure, are definitely not done yet.
Moshaban deflected out. He's going to go Seattle's way. Change is upcoming for the Sounders here, just the one. As Trevian Sousa is going to come on, one of the Tacoma Defiance players brought in for this match. And it is going to be Dylan Tevez, who is going to leave us here in minute 67. Had a few opportunities Dylan Tevez did to find the back of the net, was certainly active. Sousa will take over from here. One of the youngsters, Ryan Schmetzer, at his disposal tonight.
It's always good to see young players getting their feet wet in cup competitions or in first team games in general. You know, you have to get the experience somewhere, and having the opportunity to play these games and get young players out there, for them to actually showcase that they're good enough to get the trust to play in bigger games is always good to see.
Montero went for a cheeky chip. Okay, Vegas up to the task on that occasion. Just to piggyback off of that, Chris, 4 Tacoma Defiance players have made this team tonight. A lot of the group that you're seeing out there played for Wade Weber's group last season, and a team that did rather well. Reed Baker-Whiting is in that group, Kitahara as well. Double Air and Baker are added to that list, Sissoko as well.
Yeah, and it's always good for the community to see that kind of elevation path through players playing in the community that go into the club and end up being young players, motivating and inspiring the next generation of players in and around the local area. So I think it's always positive when you see that in the youngsters, and it's also a indicament to the development of the game in the country that we're seeing younger players playing at professional level at earlier ages.
No question.
I think Cincinnati have a 15-year-old who started for them in the Open Cup tonight, or got appearance for them. So, you know, things are changing right before our eyes, so it's exciting to see.
And they beat Lou City of the USL Championship by a 1-0 to advance to the round of 32, where Seattle hopes to be by the end of the night. Mo Shaban is the player who's slow to get up, helped up by referee Christian Campo Hernandez. Hoping Mo Shaban can walk this off. Another big set-piece opportunity for San Diego. They're all going to be big down the stretch if the Loyal are going to pull off a miraculous comeback here. Ball in from Corona. Headed out by Baker-Whiting. Mo Shaban on the recycle to Nalati. Nalati striding into space. Corona. For Cam Riley. Riley is blocked. Gets it back, keeps it in. Crosses it in, looking for Damas. Sissoko gets his head to it. It is a battle for it. Nalati trying to get in behind. He's the last to touch it.
Riley did ever so well to keep that ball in play and deliver that ball into the box. Clearly chasing a ball that he didn't think he was going to win and end up turning it into a dangerous delivery into the box. Sometimes just having that resilience and persistence to chase a ball that you may not think you're going to win creates your own luck. It's not a case of getting lucky. You know, you worked hard to get it, but you didn't give up on an opportunity that you thought may have been going out of play, and a dangerous opportunity for his team there.
Two goals in the first half, 2 goals in the second half. Well, again, it is a much changed side for Ryan Schmetzer's Seattle Sounders. They did have 5 consecutive home clean sheets in MLS coming into the night, although again, those were all at Lumen Field and with a much different team. He still would have hoped to get a clean sheet tonight with this really talented group out there, although again, the penalty did lead to the Corona goal from the penalty spot. That came back in the 53rd minute. But then Paul Rothrock scored 2 minutes later. Koke Vegas, with a miscue at the back, couldn't keep his shot out.
And it does make you wonder, you know, what happened defensively for San Diego tonight. Clearly, this cannot be how the defense or the goalkeeper performs on a regular basis in the USL Championship. Something tonight just wasn't there. Maybe the nerves, the occasion did get to the players a little bit. But clearly what they're doing works for them in the USL Championship. But Seattle found them out massively tonight defensively.
Conway for Corona, who tried to unleash one. It is blocked on the edge of the penalty area. And then the pass for Elijah Martin down this near side trickles out of play. with just under 20 minutes of the 90 left, and the Sounders trying to inch their way closer to a spot in the round of 32.
Yeah, it will take something very special for San Diego to get themselves back into this game. And you know, get an equalizer, 2 goals, take us to extra time. It's going to take something miraculous. But that's not to say it can't be done.
Crazier things have happened.
It's not over till it's over.
This is Colin Martin. This is where San Diego wants to be, in possession. Trying to knock on Seattle's door. Did lead to the penalty.
Difficult to break Seattle down right now. They have all 11 players back behind the ball. There's not very much space to play in between them. So you can see, yes, San Diego are keeping possession of the ball, but it's not really threatening Seattle at this moment because they have so many players behind the ball, making it very difficult to break them down.
And Nate Miller told us as Dalazzi wins a free kick, this has been a part of San Diego's game that they've struggled with in the league this season, breaking opponents down, going one-on-one, creating chances when it's not on the counterattack and you're trying to knock down the door to get into the penalty area and create chances.
And I want to highlight this. Freddie Montero is 36 years old, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. And you see him back defending in the 71st minute on the edge of his box, albeit he gives away a free kick, but they have 11 players behind the ball. Montero being the highest of those players, back defending, trying to win the ball on the edge of his own 18-yard box, speaks about the work that he's willing to do on behalf of the team. Albeit he gave away a free kick, but it's not often you see number 9s at that age with that mentality working back to the edge of the box, trying to win possession of the ball, doing the defensive and the dirty work for their team. So you have to give him credit for how he's conducted himself tonight.
From the set piece, oh, it's a sparkling free kick. San Diego are right back in it. Joe Corona's done it again. 3-2. Sensational strike.
I think I've done it again. Every time I've represented a player, the opposite ends up happening. But what a free kick. Bends it into the top right-hand corner. Cleveland on this occasion not able to get anywhere near it. San Diego still in this game.
A brace for Joe Corona. It's a stunning goal.
And the work I was actually giving Montero credit for doing turns out to be a chance that ends up being an opportunity for San Diego to themselves back into this game.
And here's Thomas. Goalkeeper comes off his line. Cleveland snatches it. And the momentum shifts again. Well, Joe Corona, who has a ton of MLS pedigree, it's come to the fore here. He's kept his composure from the penalty spot and scored a sensational free kick.
Yeah, that free kick is absolutely class.
Can Seattle respond once more? Montero for double air. And it's picked off by Riley. Can Nate Miller's group pull this off? They still have 16 minutes. Oh, Damas here goes down behind the play for San Diego. Seattle will play on for now. That's not a good sign for the Loyal. They need him down the stretch here. But he is down on the pitch.
The free kick from Corona was absolutely first class. Keeper did his best to get to it, but still was absolutely nowhere near it. It's a big moment, gives his team a big lift with just 15 minutes left in this game. They're still right on the edge of it, despite how poorly they've defended.
Just another night in the U.S. Open Cup. Damas is back up to his feet. Well, this is why we love cup competitions, right? You just can't take your eyes off games like this. If you do, you tend to be sorry. You miss moments like the ones we've seen provided from Joe Corona tonight. And San Diego, after the start they had to the game, after the mistakes they made on the 3 goals they've conceded, we have to start giving them some credit here for continuing to fight, and they still have 15 minutes to save themselves here.
Yeah, I think in the second half we've seen a lot more offensively from San Diego. There's still been moments when the defense has been questionable. There's been a couple more opportunities that Seattle probably will be kicking themselves that they've not capitalized on and put this game to bed earlier in the game. But definitely a lot of fight from San Diego in this second half.
Fans, you can hear them in the background. They know they're needed now. This game is on a knife edge here. Under 15 left. Again, if San Diego can pull it off, will be extra time and potentially penalties. They still need one more goal to force this third-round tie into extra time. Will Seattle once again fend them off? Shaban concedes the throw. Referee will stop the play. We're told a substitution could be in the offing here. Referee looked over to confirm if the change was going to happen, it looks like, and it will. Morgan Hackworth, he's going to come on for Elijah Martin, and that is San Diego's last change of the night. Remember, they used 4 at the start of the second half. Seattle get a ball in behind. It's flicked on for a chance for Rothrock. Riley on his case. Baker has his cross blocked by Corona. What a game he's had. Hackworth's first touch to get it forward. Flared forward for Corona. Baker is on the cover.
You have to give Nate Miller credit. He recognized that things weren't working at halftime and was not afraid or scared to make changes and be fairly aggressive, changing 4 players. And it's worked. They've got themselves back into this game, and they're creating opportunities. And with 15 minutes left to go, they're not out yet.
Sent forward by Koke Vegas. Damas trying to hold up the play. Nalati nearly got through, but Sissoko was having none of it. Rothrock's ball forward. Sosa couldn't quite pick out the right pass in behind.
Terrible decision there from Sosa. He receives the ball. He has so much space in front of him to drive into. There's nobody even in that area making the run for that ball that he tries to deliver. Could have took it in his own, further down the field, cut it back, created an easier scoring opportunity. But again, moments for Seattle to exploit the San Diego defense.
Stoneman's clearance. Mo Shaban heads it on for Evan Conway. Conway, lovely work to get it back to Mo Shaban, who's dispossessed, but it's trickled into the path of Damas. Nice job by Cleveland, who hasn't put a foot wrong all night. But San Diego does get the throw. Damas goes for glory. It's going to take much more than that to beat Cleveland from there.
Not the worst effort on target, but not the best either. But what it does is now it makes Seattle's defense feel a little bit more threat. Now they're going to, drop back a little bit, back a little bit, and that's going to allow San Diego to get deeper into the half and sustain longer periods of pressure.
Couldn't quite take a page out of the Joe Corona playbook there. Vegas controls at the other end. San Diego was down 2-0 at the half, 3-1 in this second half after they got it within 2-1. Can the Loyal pull off a miraculous comeback here to tie the game?
Extremely unique how San Diego build from the back. You can see the center back drops to be, the goalkeeper drops to be the opposite center back, allowing them to push a player higher up the field. It's not something you see very often, but they've made it work for them so far in the USL Championship. They've been extremely successful so far. And that's not really the reason why they've been caught out tonight. It's not how they built out from the back, it's just how they've defended when they haven't had possession of the ball and the mistakes that they've made. So unique to see the goal frame wide open and the keeper playing it as a centre back in the build-up play. And Seattle actually giving them a lot of respect, because many teams may see that and want to press them aggressively and try and win the ball with a goalkeeper out their goal. But Seattle actually dropping off and allowing them to have the ball, maybe as a respect for they can beat them if they press them in that aspect. So it's actually giving San Diego a lot of credit for how they're able to build up from the back with the use of the goalkeeper in kind of an unorthodox fashion that we're accustomed to seeing.
One of the things that Brian Schmetzer touched on with us as well, the pattern that has made for San Diego is something they noticed right away in preparation, but just like you said, Chris, you still have to respect it. It's something you have to deal with, as this is lovely interplay down the near side. Cody Baker crosses it, cleared out by Kyle Adams.
Baker does well here. I felt like his run just kept him going a little bit away from goal when he could have cut into goal, maybe took the shot off himself. If he takes this touch into the box, unfortunately he keeps it wide, and there's nobody making the run into the box, nobody centrally for him to find. San Diego do well on this occasion to clear the danger away. But some good build-up play from Seattle there to free Baker down that left-hand side.
It was in a tight space as well that they were able to get through. And the Sounders put more pressure on here with just under 10 minutes left. Ball in from Montero on the throw. Double-air was unmarked. Baker tries to win it back. It's only cleared as far as Kitahara. Now Vargas. Baker brought down to throw in. Going to go the other way here for San Diego. So it's a little physical. Crowd didn't like it. They wanted a foul. San Diego have to get on with it.
If there's one thing we've been accustomed to seeing in these cup competitions is late goals. Entering these final 10 minutes now, can San Diego get the equalizer, or can Seattle get the goal that essentially puts the nail in the coffin and seals the victory?
Conway, Nalati, Damas is through the middle, Moshaban is wide. Can San Diego pull this off? Nalati. Good defensive work from Baker Whiting. Nalati does well to make sure it doesn't go out for a goal kick, just a throw. Xavi Nalati has really been vibrant since coming on. One of the 4 halftime changes that Nate Miller made.
And you see the danger Nalati has in the final third when he has the ball at his feet. When he gets into the box, he's a player who can easily draw free kicks and draw penalties. So Seattle have to be very careful how they defend him when he starts driving at them in the final third.
Chance here for Sousa. Sousa's ball across, changing the point of attack. Double-air's touch. He's a bit wild. Riley picks it up. He's able to dash his way through multiple defenders here. Falls kindly for Corona, who's on a hat-trick.
Sousa did well there driving down the left-hand side, but I'm just questioning his choice of pass. I feel like he had more options there to go forward or commit a defender and take them on. Playing the ball square and laterally, nothing really came of that, but he does bring a positive energy to the attack going forward for Seattle.
Misplaced pass, maybe miscommunication between Colin Martin and Cam Riley. For those that have watched us with this game since the beginning, you might be surprised how close this has been. You have to give the Loyal a lot of credit. They've dealt with a lot of adversity tonight. They've been their own worst enemy defensively, especially the first hour of the match. But Joe Corona and company have picked themselves back up, and they still have a chance to come from behind here and maybe send this to extra time. They have defending to do first and foremost. Sousa into the middle. Rothrock's goal at the moment is the winning goal. There's some miscommunication there between Sousa and Baker.
Yeah, definitely for San Diego. There's been some moments in the game that have been a little bit embarrassing and substandard. But on the bigger picture, they've definitely made this game competitive. They've played well, they've competed well. There's just been a few moments, a few too many moments in the game that have let them down, and they've been punished as a byproduct of that.
Moshaban. For Martin, threading it through nicely here. Nalati didn't see it initially as the ball was threaded through. He keeps on going, and Cleveland just about escapes his challenge. San Diego were looking for something on the far side there. It's not been given. Vegas is way off of his line to stop Sousa. It was offside. Referee plays advantage, and the ball is still in play. Colin Martin didn't quite get the challenge in on Reed. Baker Whiting, who slashes his way through Moshaban. Baker Whiting switching the point of attack, but it's behind Sousa.
Again, that choice of pass. There's a 5-yard pass directly in front. He turns it down, tries to hit the diagonal pass, and turns away possession of the ball.
Conway fighting with Kitahara odd.
In these final stages of the game, is so important for Seattle to keep possession of the ball so they can control the tempo of play. Essentially giving it away cheaply only allows San Diego to keep their momentum going forward and try to create more scoring opportunities in this last 5 minutes to try and get the equalizer.
Under 5 minutes of the 90 left. Seattle's fans trying to take them over the line.
approaching these final stages. The fans definitely making themselves heard, trying to give their team that possible extra lift to get across the final line.
Sounds a little bit like Lumen Field in here right now. Can the Sounders punch their round of 32 ticket?
Sounders were speaking about how the field here tonight is a little bit more intimate. The fans are closer to the field. It's tighter, it's closer, it lifts the players.
San Diego could be in here. Conway, it's Hackworth! And he's headed it wide of the goal. What a chance!
That was the opportunity that San Diego needed to get themselves level pegging. Great opportunity here. I think it's Conway here again, delivering this ball. Left up at the back post. Hackworth does ever so well to get his head on it. He just needs to direct it back where it came from, across the goalkeeper, and he would have got his team back onto level pegging. However, heads it wide of the frame. Tremendous let off there for Seattle in the closing stages of this game.
Still 3 minutes of the 90 left, plus potentially some stoppage time on the back end.
Conway has been extremely effective on that left-hand side for San Diego since he came on at the start of the second half, creating 3 or 4 good opportunities for his teammates.
Corona was taken out there. Referee will visit this challenge here. A yellow card has been shown.
Strong tackle hit, but these stoppages in play will only favor Seattle. San Diego want to get the ball in play and keep it rolling as much as possible.
It's Sota Kitahara who has been booked, and that's why. Another challenge comes in, this time on Colin Martin. Freddie Montero penalized. We'll just play on with a free kick. Does San Diego have one more trick up their sleeve here? Corona, who's dragged them back into the match. Pass is picked off. Paul Rothrock. Double air, striding forward with it. Incisive pass for Reed Baker-Whiting. Decides to recycle it. Ball is... Ooh, thought it was out of play. Might be a free kick here. Beforehand. Actually looks like it's a throw-in, beg your pardon. Substitution is coming. This is going to be a Seattle change here. Referee has stopped the play because Hal Uderitz is going to come on. And Ethan Doubelair, who scored Seattle's second, is going to depart. One of the Tacoma youngsters comes on for one of the former Tacoma youngsters in Doubelair. We are in the 90th minute here in Tukwila, Washington. Nalati trying to get it to Hackworth. Cody Baker takes no chances. See San Diego have the throw. Hackworth is dragged down. San Diego asked for a free kick. It's not been given. But now Riley has it. Hackworth again. Crossed into the middle. It's flicked on by Corona. Cleared by Baker-Whiting. Only as far as Kyle Adams. Stoppage time has been entered. 3 added minutes for San Diego to find a third equalizing goal. Oshaban is brought down. It is a free kick.
Great opportunity here for San Diego. 3 minutes left. They have the opportunity here for Corona to show his class again with a quality delivery into the box. Will this be a moment of magic?
Can Joe Corona produce again? Ball is whipped in, the header at the back post is dragged wide of the goal. 2 players for San Diego had a chance at it. Damas and I think Conway came together. And Cleveland sees it go wide of his goal with 2 added minutes left.
The delivery was everything you could have asked for at the back post. Whether you want to finish it with your head or whether you want to open up and side volley into the back of the net, the ball was there screaming for an attacker to put it into the back of the net. Just nobody was able to have the composure to finish it off, but another great delivery into the box from Corona.
Sent forward by Baker. Mo Shaban for Colin Martin.
You have to give San Diego credit. Irrespective of the mistakes that they've had tonight, they've never stopped fighting. They've never stopped knocking on the door. They've never stopped trying to create. I think once they are able to shore up the defense, this is a team that can compete in an exciting, expansive, entertaining way.
Right now, what they're worried about is their U.S. Open Cup run. Can they save it with a last-minute equalizing goal? They get a throw-in deep down the field. Entering the last minute of a minimum of 3 added on. Corona for Conway. Still Evan Conway brought down. Referee sees nothing wrong with it. It's Adams! Oh! It's sensational! Kyle Adams equalizes in the final minute! San Diego finds salvation at the death! Extra time beckons! And the Sounders are silenced! It's 3-3! It's incredible!
What a strike. Conway again trying to create something here. Doesn't give up on it. The ball breaks in the edge of the box. Ball travels so fast we can't even get a good view of it from the replay. It's an absolute steam train into the back of the net. What a strike. My goodness. This has to be a contender for goal of the tournament. But a moment of the tournament, less than 30 seconds left in the game, and he pulls out a strike like that. I think he's redeemed himself for the area early in the game, and we knew that he hadn't given up. We saw that in his mentality. He was still trying to do positive things for the game, and nothing bigger than what he's just pulled off in the final moments of this game.
The loyal rise from the ashes. 2-0 down, 3-1 down. It's 3-3. And you're not going to see a better goal than that in this round of the tournament. You're just not going to.
We spoke about late goals in this cup competitions, and it couldn't have come at a better time for San Diego. But what a strike. Flabbergasted is the word I can use.
Extra time in Tukwila, Washington. Can you believe it? San Diego were down and out multiple times tonight, a lot of times because of their own undoing. Give Nate Miller's squad all the credit in the world. We have 2 15-minute periods of extra time. It's 3-3. It's insane. Stay with us. There's still plenty more drama to come. Sean St. Jacques, Chris Nurse, back here with you, still trying to comprehend how this game has finished. 3-3. We are going to start extra time in just a few moments. Here are the full-time highlights from the 90 minutes of just epic Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup third round action. And really, Chris, the story for most of the game was mistakes from San Diego leading to their own downfall.
Yeah, we saw some bad defending earlier on in the game, but you have to give Nate Miller credit for how he adjusted in this second half. We knew it was going to be exhilarating, we knew it was going to be exciting, and it's left us not short of disappointed whatsoever.
First mistake was just San Diego not playing through the whistle. This was just a mistake from Koke Vegas not holding on to the cross. But then San Diego showed some signs of life. They get a penalty here that was dispatched by Corona.
Yeah, questionable penalty, but Arriaga receives a yellow card. San Diego do well to convert the penalty, get themselves back into the game and build a little bit of positive momentum.
At that point, it was 2-1 to Seattle. Cleveland just couldn't quite get down enough to save the Corona penalty. And we thought at that moment that that would be the moment where Loyal would get back into the match. Then Koke Vegas has another tough moment.
Yeah, again, defensively, keeper should really do better in that situation. He's in the right area. Yes, his goalkeepers can get beat at the near post, but not in that fashion. It's far too simple. Seattle got themselves ahead by 2 goals again.
The first of 2 stunning San Diego goals here from Joe Corona. It was in the 73rd minute. It got them back to 3-2.
Yeah, no saving that strike there from Corona. Absolutely class. Conway has had a positive impact since he came back into the game, but what a strike. You're not going to see too many goals better than that in the US Open Cup this year. In the moment his team needed him, bang! 3-3.
And that's where we stand. Somehow, some way, heading into 2 15-minute periods of extra time. They will be played in full. There are no golden goals. Both teams get an additional substitution. And of course, if it's still tied after 120 minutes, we will head to the spot for penalties. It's how the Sounders were knocked out here last year. And San Diego's forced them into extra time here in Tukwila once more.
The momentum right now is strongly in favor of San Diego. 2 unanswered goals right now, coming back from 3-1 down to tie the game 3-3. Of course, we've seen they've been defensively susceptible throughout the course of the game, but offensively, they have Seattle in all kinds of problems right now.
First period of extra time is underway. What next in this third round cup tie? Seattle were 2-0 up at the break, 3-1 up, just under 20 minutes left. San Diego score in the 73rd and the 93rd minute. 2 phenomenal goals. Corona's goal was a sensational free kick. Kyle Adams with a pile-driving equalizer in the last minute of the match to give San Diego the ultimate lifeline and new hope in their US Open Cup run. The game has had so many twists and turns, the ultimate twist coming at the very end, of course. And we still have more drama to see unfold here at Starfire.
Important for both of these teams to keep possession of the ball now. Going into extra time, they're going to end up playing 120 minutes, and this is where players get fatigued. And once that physical, mental fatigue starts to kick in, this is when we start to see even more mistakes as the game progresses. So it's going to be very interesting to see from a mental standpoint how tuned in these players can remain for the remaining 2 periods of 15 minutes.
Corona tried to find Damas over the top. Damas tries to win that back. Referee's whistle goes. It is a Loyal free kick.
Corona has proven to be very dangerous from these situations so far in this game. Going to be interesting to see if he steps up again to take this set piece.
Hal Uderitz, the substitute, was booked for the challenge on Ronaldo Damas. His name is taken. Set piece opportunity for San Diego Loyal. Forcing extra time against all the odds. Can they take the lead? Good ball whipped in over the head of Stoneman. Headed out towards Nalati, who took aim. Headed here for Evan Conway, who chops it across the middle. Reed Baker-Whiting missed the chance to clear it initially, and then it is sent out of the penalty area.
San Diego doing a good job to regain possession of the ball and just sustain that pressure on Seattle in the final third.
Conway from Corona. Damas trying to step his way through. Ronaldo Damas sees it cleared by Sissoko. He was in an offside position though, Damas, I believe. And that negates any further action.
Conway again driving at that Seattle defense, trying to unlock them and created his own luck with his direct play.
Baker-Whiting. Oh, that's a high boot from Montero. It has been spotted, and San Diego gets it back. Well, it's just the third time in Seattle's U.S. Open Cup history that they've scored at least 2 goals in a match and not won the game in normal time. They have 1 loss on their record in that time. The other was just down as a draw. That in itself is remarkable, but it's the way that San Diego has done it. They essentially punished themselves, San Diego, in the first half with 2 mistakes. Even the third goal was another Koke Vegas mistake at the back. The resilience they've shown, the fight, the determination to stick with it has just been phenomenal to watch. And again, we saw some great support from Seattle. Starfire still seems stunned by the way that regulation ended.
And you have to give Adams a lot of credit for his character and resilience. There's many players who would have made the mistake that he made earlier in the game and maybe lost their confidence and started to play a little bit shy, but he has continued to pressure and be a key player throughout the whole game, and then to come up big in that moment, less than 30 seconds left in the game, and to grab the equalizer for his team. I think he can easily be forgiven for some of the defensive mistakes earlier in the game, but you have to give him exceptional credit for his character and his ability to come back, his resilience throughout the course of this 90 minutes. Well, what we will see is 120 minutes, but 90 minutes so far.
Referee does spot an infraction here. It's going to be a Seattle free kick. Just for some context, Kyle Adams has not scored in the USL Championship this season. And neither is Joe Corona, by the way, saving it for the Open Cup.
If there's ever a time to get your first goal of the season, that was definitely it.
Not a bad way to do it. And that's underselling it. Well, sometimes you can be prisoner of the moment on great moments and things like that. That Kyle Adams goal, again, there's still a big result to play for here. Just the quality of the strike under the circumstances with almost the last kick of the match. I mean, it's the height of Open Cup drama. It's why we love the beautiful game, and it's also why we love the Open Cup. It's a turnover here. Seattle could be in. Montero has his shot blocked. Sosa is blocked as well on the edge. Udoritz and Koke Vegas scoops it up. Cam Riley is a bit slow to continue. Al Udoritz took aim there during the last sequence. One of the 4 Tacoma Defiance players in the team for Brian Schmetzer tonight. Well, Brian Schmetzer's seen it all, I think, in his coaching career. But this one, he's certainly got to be up there. And in Nate Miller's first season as head coach of San Diego after being an assistant under Landon Donovan the last few years, has a chance for a huge feather in his cap.
It's been a great game tonight for the neutral fans. 6 goals, and it's not done yet.
Seattle have some trouble clearing that. It's a San Diego throw. Again, 2 15 minutes of extra time periods with a brief halftime in the middle. They will be played to completion regardless of the score. If it stays like this, we will go to a penalty shootout to decide it.
There's been some mistakes. There's been some moments of brilliance. There's been some excellence from veterans. There's been lots of enthusiasm from youngsters. This game has had it all tonight.
Just makes you wonder what we're going to see next. A lot of time left. What do the soccer gods have in store for us tonight? This played in behind here for Uderitz to chase. San Diego will clear it. Out for a throw for Rothrock.
I think now the question's flipped back onto Seattle. The chances that they've been given in today's game, there's no way this should have ended up being 3-3. But it has. So I think where the question marks were earlier on San Diego, I think now the question marks end up being back on to Seattle. Like, how did we concede 3 goals at home and not win this game with the chances that we were given and converted?
Rothrock, who thought he had won the match at one point, into the middle. Sousa able to recover it with Hackworth on his back. Baker wins a throw-in off of Conway into the 99th minute. Control from Corona. Sousa deflects it out. Vegas. Just threading it through here. Conway tried to find Damas. Couldn't thread the needle. Sissoko sends it upfield only as far as Colin Martin. Nalazzi dispossessed. Back with Seattle it comes. Sousa. Montero. There's a player for San Diego down here. It is Nalazzi. The medical staff for San Diego has been summoned.
Referee being a little bit generous there. I wouldn't believe he's only to stop play if it's a head injury. And in that instance, Seattle had the opportunity to continue to play on, but taking a little extra care of the players, which is always good in extra time when the players are having to push their bodies a little bit harder. Unless he's bringing it back for a free kick, of course, because they didn't get the advantage. But looked like he was more concerned about the injury.
Both teams were given an additional substitution. San Diego obviously used all of theirs up in regulation. Although it should be mentioned that Jackson Simba is the only outfield player available, and he's a defender for Nate Miller's group. So it certainly wouldn't be a like for like if Nalazzi has to leave us here, although it looks like he's going to try and continue on, get some good encouragement from his head coach. So we have just under 5 minutes left of the first period of 2 in extra time. Nalazzi is getting set to rejoin us. Referee waves him back on. Play continues. Sissoko. Reed Baker-Whiting. Cuts inside. And shoots! Oh, my word! It's a stunning goal from Reed Baker-Whiting! And the Sounders are back in front. It's a screamer. And in extra time, Seattle lead by 4 goals to 3. It's another great finish.
This is becoming a game of bangers. Picks up this ball, White, and drives inside. Martin almost opens up the channel for him to keep going, puts it onto his weaker foot, his left foot, and absolutely rips it into the top corner of the net. Goalkeeper again, stood no chance, couldn't get close to the ball. What a strike.
It's becoming a game of anything you can do, I can do better.
Baker White looks across at Martin, gives him the finger, says he did it with his weak foot.
Substitution for Seattle. Kellen Rowe comes on. Obed Vargas comes off. And Seattle regained the lead with 3 minutes left in the first period of extra time. It's another sumptuous goal.
I think Baker White will be having conversations with his teammates and saying, what weak foot? Did you not see that strike? What weak foot?
He put it where Kyle Adams put it at the end of regulation. And Seattle are back in front. Nalati might have been brought down there. Moshaban continues into the penalty area, and Sissoko and company make sure he goes no further. Now Montero trying to hold up the play with 4 San Diego players around him here. Referee blows it to a stop, and it is a free kick for the Loyal.
I did think, though, when Baker Whiting started to drive inside, Martin almost opened up the channel for him by showing him centrally towards goal rather than getting around the other side of him and trying to show him more towards the wide areas. He showed him the centre and kind of dared him, and he accepted the challenge and completed the task.
Now Damas, can San Diego pull another rabbit out of their hat? They're gonna have to do it again, the Loyal. What's become a 7-goal classic here in Tukwila. This is Riley. Goes down in the penalty area. Referee barely even gave it a look. And that is a whistle. It's going to be brought back for a Seattle free kick.
We can expect San Diego to throw everything into these last 15 minutes. And I'm telling you, they're not done yet. There's been chances still there for them.
And there's still another 15-minute period after this one ends. Plenty of time for more, dare I say more, Open Cup drama. We've already had bucket loads of it tonight. Colin Martin in behind for Damas. He's gonna catch it. Can Damas find a teammate in the middle? He tries to. He gets it back, and Cleveland saves it. Tough angle for Damas. Good stop from Cleveland.
Does well here to beat his defender. And the angle for the shot is very tight when it comes back here. There was really no one centrally in a good position that he could have found, so he had to try and take the shot, but Cleveland did well. Good positioning there to make the save look fairly straightforward. We're going to have to clarify this shot, but a question mark is Baker Whiting actually left-footed? I just seen him dribbling in. I just seen him now dribbling into the field on his left foot. He may actually be left-footed, or he's just feeling very confident right now.
Plays on the right, so you would think he'd be a right-booted player, but
Maybe playing as an inverted winger.
yeah.
But I've seen him use both feet in this game extremely comfortably.
Super impressive goal regardless.
It's a huge compliment when the commentators cannot define which foot you are is your strong foot.
No doubt. We might have to make a poll or something for the goals and ranking them in this game so far. Each one of them just about since the 70th minute have just been so strong.
All right, he's a lefty.
Reed Baker Whiting.
He's a righty.
He's ambidextrous. And that's the end of the first period of extra time. Reed Baker Whiting starring in the first 15 minutes. Sissoko and company trying to get the fans involved down the stretch. A stunning goal from Baker Whiting has Seattle back in front with 15 more minutes of extra time still to play. Do San Diego have another miracle left in them? They have 15 minutes to do it. Sean St. Jacques, Chris Nurse, forgive us as we need to take a breath once more in between these two 15-minute periods of extra time. It's been breathtaking stuff in Tukwila, Washington. It's been an epic third-round cup tie, as memorable as we've seen so far this season. Again, just to recap, San Diego Loyal at times tonight defensively have been their own worst enemy. You could argue the first 3 goals the Sounders scored were all off of San Diego mistakes. First and third in particular were big Loyal miscues at the back. Joe Corona was really the one that got them back into the match. A penalty kick goal and then a stunning free kick goal to make it 3-2. Kyle Adams with a show-stopping equalizer in the final minute to send us to extra time. And then Reed Baker Whiting scoring with his left boot, ambidextrous and all, to give Seattle a 4-3 lead. And Chris Nurse, I ask you to do the impossible and explain what on earth are we waiting for next?
I think it's been an exhilarating game so far for both the players, the fans, and the staff. I think we've seen the good, the bad, and the brilliant. We've seen a couple of goals that we may not see again for the remainder of the competition. But there's still 15 minutes to go. San Diego, we know they're not gonna give up to the very last minute. Both defenses have shown they're capable of conceding goals, and we've seen some really good attacking moments throughout the course of this game so far. So buckle up.
It's Seattle on the attack. It's going to go out for a San Diego throw. It's just been an epic encounter in the Open Cup. It's why it's must-watch every season. It's why we missed it 2 years ago when the pandemic took it from us. Moments like Adams saving San Diego at the end, Reed Baker Whiting giving Seattle the lead back with an epic goal to make it 4-3. The 2 Corona goals have been fantastic as well. The fight that San Diego have shown, Seattle staying with it after giving up the equalizing goal at the end. It's just been non-stop fun and excitement for neutrals. Heart-pumping, edge-of-your-seat stuff for the fans of both teams. And there's still time for more drama. Adams, the hero of regulation for Moshaban. Moshaban lofts it in, looking for Damas. It's cut out. Uderitz clears.
The onus is now on Seattle to see if they can manage the tempo of the game and keep possession of the ball. 13 minutes left to go in this game. If they can stay tight, disciplined, and compact when they don't have possession of the ball, and try to dictate the tempo by keeping the possession of the ball for as long as they can, they're probably going to end up victorious in this game. If they don't dictate the tempo of the game by keeping possession of the ball and are not very tight, compact, and disciplined when they're out of possession, there's still plenty of chances left in these remaining 10-12 minutes for San Diego.
A place in the round of 32, which will take place in May 9th and May 10th, is up for grabs. If San Diego can equalize and it stays like that, at the end of extra time, we would go to a penalty shootout. Nalati for Conway. Moshaban continued his run. Conway is dispossessed. Nalati picks up the pieces. Moshaban again. San Diego probing, hoping for another miracle here. Corona. Moshaban still now with Corona. On a hat-trick still, the captain. Colin Martin forced back to Adams. Now Corona. Corona's cross. Nalati went for the spectacular. It never came to him. Now Cam Riley. Here's Conway. In on his left. Conway shoots. It's deflected out. It's a Loyal corner.
Conway again just having little moments of brilliance, creating things, keeping his team active in the attacking third.
Set piece for the Loyal.
Conway's predominantly doing that from the left-hand side earlier, but now he's opted to the right-hand side more as an inverted winger.
In by Moshaban. Central header. Riley and Damas went for it. It deflects behind. It is another corner. Seattle perplexed. San Diego gets another set piece. Corona. Ball is sent in, it's cleared away, only as far as Hackworth. Colin Martin. Riley. Riley to the byline, chips it over and out of play.
Good defending there from Seattle, just not giving Riley enough time to get the ball out of his feet and deliver any quality service into the box.
Well, we talked with Brian Schmetzer, Seattle head coach, before the game. He said, even back in the USL days, he knew about cup sets, was a part of a few. As far as the David side of the equation is concerned, knows all about the history of this competition on both sides of it. And after David hit Goliath right between the eyes at the end of regulation, his side have been able to get back on their feet in extra time so far. Martin's got to be careful there. Montero trying to chase him down. Riley has 2 men on him. He'll settle for a throw. And about 9 minutes left in extra time, and San Diego needing another goal to force a penalty shootout.
Good play there from Martin when he picks up that ball. Many times we see players pick up those balls in those circumstances and just turn and try to kick it and clear it away. Martin does a good job of being composed, calm, trying to work himself out of a tight situation and find a teammate with a pass more so than a hopeful clearance.
Referee will have San Diego retake the free kick. Seattle's support, as we expected, as Brian Schmetzer told us it would be. It's been tremendous all night.
Vegas way out of his box in his sweeper-keeper position.
Adams, who sent us to extra time. Mo Shaban. What can he provide here on the far side? Tries an incisive pass for Conway. Sissoko cuts it out. Kyle Adams. And for Mo Shaban. Lalati is there in support. Lovely ball for Conway. Could turn through past Sissoko, who stands him up. Lovely turn into space here for Rowe. Great ball in behind for Sousa. And Sousa can't beat Vegas.
Again, just the end product from Sousa wasn't quite there. He does ever so well to get to the ball first. You can see his pace. He has the beating of defender, but he just doesn't use his skills there to his maximum. He could have taken a touch, driven a little bit further, and then picked his corner. Tries to hit the early shot from outside the box and straight down the center of the goalkeeper. Doesn't really catch it as clean as he would have liked, but great opportunity there on the counter-attack for Seattle.
Reed Baker-Whiting was fouled by Damas, so it's a Cleveland free kick for Seattle.
You can start to see little instances of fatigue creeping in now in some of the players, the extra stretching, quads and hamstrings starting to tighten up. Sousa just not able to react and read that there. Ball was flicked on into the box. Had he been on the balls of his feet, would have had a good opportunity to go into that ball first.
Colin Martin from Mo Shaban. This has been where San Diego's been trying to probe for a good chunk of this second period of extra time. Vegas way up the field, sends the ball towards the penalty area. Miscued by Baker-Whiting. Mo Shaban is harried. 2 players on him. He gets through and he's fouled on the way through. It's a free kick. Free kick for San Diego in a very advantageous position here as they search for yet another late equalizing goal. Remember, we said earlier that San Diego was given an additional substitution. They are about to use it. told that it's going to be Jackson Simba, who's actually the only outfield player, beg your pardon, left for Nate Miller. Only Duran Furry, the backup goalkeeper, remains now. As Nalati, who came on as a substitute, will be taken off and was dealing with a couple of knocks earlier. And the stage shifts back to Joe Corona. Lofson, another good ball. Oh, it's Simba, who just came on, heads in the equalizer. More show-stopping drama. His first touch since coming on. Jackson Simba equalizes, and with 5 minutes left of extra time, it's 4-4 in this incredible cup tie. It's the game that keeps on giving.
What a way to introduce yourself to this game. Phenomenal delivery again from Corona, and Simba gives the goalkeeper no chance with this header. Underside of the crossbar, into the back of the net. San Diego have equalized 4-4 with just 5 minutes remaining in extra time.
He's arrived, Jackson Simba. San Diego will not go down into the night tonight. They keep fighting. They keep surviving.
This has been an 8-goal thriller. And there's still 3 minutes to go.
What else can you say? It's just everything you could ask for. There's still more chances here. Sousa blocked out for a Seattle corner. There could still be a winning goal in this before penalties. Montero will get ready to take it.
Sousa again threatening there in behind, just unable to provide that final delivery into the box. Now you wonder if this substitution about to be made is specifically for penalty kicks, or if it's to influence the last 3 minutes of this game.
It's Josh Atencio who's come on for Reed Baker-Whiting, whose goal's been canceled out here in extra time. Seattle attack again, and from the corner, it needs a clearance. It gets one out of the penalty area, and now the Loyal can break here. Simba for Damas. Conway's through the middle. Simba continued his run. Ronaldo Damas, and again, in for Conway. Damas couldn't get a touch back on it, and it shepherded out of play for a Seattle throw.
On that break there, you saw Atencio actually trying to foul Damas to kind of halt play and bring the ball back, but he was unable to get enough contact on him.
Josh Atencio was actually one of the players that Brian Schmetzer talked about how excited he was that he was going to get to play tonight. I don't think he thought he was going to play him this late in the game. And again, if it stays like this, we will have a penalty shootout to decide it. But we could still have a winning goal here. Oh, Shaban driving, trying to find Damas. Sissoko clears. Only as far as Colin Martin. Simba's there to help. Simba, by the way, was brought on for his defense. He ends up scoring with his first touch of the game. Now Hackworth trying to thread it through into the middle. Seattle control.
When you're asking players from the bench to be engaged and have a positive impact when they go into the game, I think Simba kind of a perfect example in that situation. Mentally focused into the game, comes in first set piece, gets the equalizing goal that his team needs in the last 5 minutes of extra time to tie the game up 4-4.
San Diego playing the role of the Undertaker tonight. It seems like they've been dead and buried multiple times. They keep rising up. Nate Miller's group deserves so much credit here for fighting back time and time again. Again, they were down 2-0 at the half. They were down 3-1 with actually less than 20 minutes left, about 17, 18 minutes left. They forced extra time. They were down in extra time. They came back again. Will we have one more moment, or will we have a penalty shootout?
When we say set piece specialist, I think Corona falls into that category. His delivery from dead ball situations tonight has been absolutely fantastic.
And again, if we do go to penalties, Corona's already taken one. That'll be interesting to look forward to. We'll see how that works out as Sousa is looking for a free kick here. Referee allows play to continue.
Fans not impressed with that claim for a free kick there for Sousa.
Referee does have to get involved here. It is a Seattle free kick as we're into stoppage time at the end of extra time.
This situation, you just have to throw as many bodies forward into the box as you can. Get it forward. You can see San Diego's unorthodox style of defending this set piece a lot higher than you would see most teams.
Such a high line.
Very important that they track runners. Lots of space behind that defensive line.
Rowe will take it. It's flared into the penalty area. Headed out only as far as Atencio and then booted forward.
That has to be just about it.
Sent forward by Cleveland. Can Seattle put together one more chance? Can San Diego? Ball's floated in behind. Simba. Harried by Sousa. Sousa goes down. Oh my word, it's a penalty! It's a penalty! In the final minutes of extra time! And Simba, the man who just saved San Diego, may give Seattle a chance to win it with the last kick of the game. Unending drama.
Strong decision there for the referee to make, but I don't doubt that he got this one correct. Again, when we talk about the basics of defending, one thing that you're taught is do not let the ball bounce. After that ball bounces, it becomes a 50-50, and Sousa does well to get his body in front of the ball, in front of the defender, and eventually that becomes the Achilles heel that draws the penalty kick. But in this situation, Simba should not allow this ball to bounce. Should have dealt with it nice and early. Now that situation where the ball's over his head and he's turning, he doesn't really know what's going on, ends up becoming a pivotal moment in this game.
And it's Sousa going over Simba's leg. Freddie Montero, in the midst of all the chaos, has been selected to take the penalty. And it's likely going to be the last kick of the match, unless Koke Vegas can save San Diego one last time here.
The only way this game could become more dramatic is if Montero doesn't score this penalty kick and then we go to penalty kicks.
I wouldn't put anything past this game.
We are at the end of regulation time. Really,
this really is it, or we go to penalties. Freddie Montero, ages ago, scored the first goal of this match. Can he score the last goal? Koke Vegas has been told by the referee no shenanigans on the line. Freddie Montero, it's over to you. He scores it! And wins it for Seattle with the last kick of the game. The Sounders lead 5-4 at the death. And in one of the best Open Cup games you'll see, it seems that Seattle has finally won it.
big players come up big in big games, and Montero here does ever so well to keep his head and tuck this into the back of the net. Vegas does well, he chooses the right direction, but he dives high rather than low. If he goes low, he might even save that, and we have even more drama, but Montero is the man who comes up in the big moments, puts his team on his shoulders, and potentially carries them through to the next round of the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup.
San Diego will be able to kick the ball off.
Get this ball forward as quick as possible.
How much time do they have? Vegas does send it forward. Surely not another goal. Challenge on the far side. Seattle comes out with it. Josh Atencio. Sousa is in the middle. Atencio will take it towards the corner. His pass is a little astray. Seattle holds on to it. There can't be much more time left. Ball goes out of play. Okay, Vegas restarts it. But we said it was the last kick of the game. There's still more time here. Can San Diego do it again?
The referee did indicate just 1 minute of stoppage time, but doesn't seem to be putting the whistle to his mouth as yet.
Cleveland will control it. And that is it! An amazing U.S. Open Cup tie finally comes to a close. Seattle, after all the twists and turns, the spills and thrills, they win it 5-4 in extra time over San Diego. They advance to the round of 32. And the Sounders, after a huge San Diego scare, move on in the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. A thrilling, thrilling match of Open Cup soccer.
The magic of cup competition continues, and we were not left disappointed tonight by any means whatsoever. A fantastic game, and I think when San Diego reflect on this, the mistakes that they made, if they were to not make those errors, they probably run away winners in this game against a very good Seattle team who have a good history in the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup.
Let's relive all of it, shall we? All 9 of the goals in this unbelievable game of Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup action in the third round. Again, San Diego created their own downfall in the early stages. Not playing to the whistle here allowed Montero to score the first goal of the match.
Yeah, criminal error here. Not playing to the whistle, gave away the first goal. Similar mistake in the second goal here. Ball slips out of Vegas's hands. Easy finish.
Double Air scored off another mistake. This was the handball that led to the Joe Corona penalty kick, and it led to San Diego getting back into the game to make it 2-1.
Yeah, questionable decision, but again, no mistake from the penalty spot here from the captain. Came up big in key moments. This was one of them.
Then here, Rothrock came on as a substitute, and Koke Vegas will want this one back.
Yeah, near post, goes down, deflects off his thigh into the back of the net. Definitely not a goal he would have liked to have conceded.
That made it 3-1. Then Joe Corona, with a stunning free kick, made it 3-2.
Moment of brilliance here from Corona. Puts his team on his shoulders and carries them. Gets them back into this game with a stunning free kick.
Then it seemed like San Diego might run out of time, and then Kyle Adams saved them with one of the goals of the tournament.
Conroy is dangerous since he came onto the pitch, but this strike from Adams, absolutely phenomenal. Phenomenal. You don't save those as a goalkeeper, unfortunately.
This was the last kick of regulation in stoppage time to make it 3-3. Then Reed Baker Whiting said, yeah, I can do that too. He made it 4-3 in extra time.
Yeah, we couldn't figure out if he was right-footed, left-footed, but he drives in here and hits off an absolutely bullet strike into the back of the net.
And it was 4-3. Then Jackson Simba came on as a substitute. That's his first touch of the game. He equalizes deep into extra time.
Great delivery again here from the skipper. Great header into the top corner, under the bottom side of the crossbar, into the back of the net. Ties it up for his team.
Made it 4-4, but then he's the one that concedes the penalty to Sousa. In the dying embers of extra time with just a few moments left in it. And Freddie Montero steps up to win it.
Vegas goes the right way, but just doesn't manage to get any contact on the ball. He goes high rather than low. And Montero makes no mistake from the spot, leading his team to victory.
And that's how it finished. Just an epic encounter in the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. San Diego were confident coming in. They made big mistakes early, but boy, did they fight their way back So many twists and turns throughout, but in the end, Seattle advances. They survive, really. They beat San Diego by 5-4 in extra time. For Chris Nurse and our entire crew, hope you enjoyed it. We certainly did. Seattle advances to the round of 32 in one of the best Open Cup games you'll see this season.